dining scene. Check out participating restaurants, menus, and all the tasty details at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for distinctive dining. This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Ready to tackle your home improvement project this spring? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. Visit extpros.com today.
The season has only just begun, and the crew are already back in the desert.
Is a fly ball deep center field, back to the track. Bye-bye baseball, Christian Yelich.
Our Brewers Diamondbacks coverage starts tonight at 8:05 on your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story: angry at the president for not responding to an accidental deportation.
I'm Julia Fellow, taking MPS to task for keeping schools closed over lead.
I'm Debbie Lazago. We've got some delays on northbound 43 coming out of the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. The southbound side slowing down just south of Silver Spring all the way down past Locust. Westbound 94, you got some backups out of the Marquette to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's got a couple of pockets of heavy traffic from about 70th Street all the way to 35th, and southbound 41 slowing down from Good Hope Road down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, mostly clear skies, maybe some frost, a low of 34. Tomorrow, sunny and pleasant, a high of 60 inland, cooler along the lake. It's currently 48 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a federal judge in Maryland is frustrated over the Trump administration's failure to explain where a man it mistakenly sent to his native El Salvador last month is. Last night, the Supreme Court ruled that the lower court judge was right to order the government facilitate his return to the United States.
A lawyer for the Justice Department said he needed more time to answer what the judge called basic and straightforward questions. Where is Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and what is the government doing to get him back? Judge Paula Sinise said the Supreme Court has now spoken quite clearly about the need for the administration to provide details on its efforts. She's ordered daily written updates, saying at this point she's seen no evidence that anything has been done to facilitate the man's return. It's a fact she called extremely troubling. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News at U.S. District Court in Greenbelt, Maryland.
Investigators with the National Transportation Safety Board looking into yesterday's deadly Hudson River helicopter crash. 6 people died in the crash, including 3 children, the youngest just 4 years old. NTSB Jennifer Homendy says it's too early to form any opinions.
I am not going to share a lot of investigative information. We have a lot of information, but we do not speculate. We need to confirm information. That is a process that takes time.
A family from Spain, along with the helicopter's pilot, all died in this crash.
We're getting cleanup effort updates for lead dust in MPS schools.
Parents had multiple questions Thursday night for Milwaukee Public Schools amid its lead cleanup efforts.
How many schools have any reportable levels of lead dust consistent with the new EPA rule? How many schools have lead in the soil that exceed 200 micrograms per square foot? Also a new EPA rule.
Milwaukee Health Department Commissioner Dr. Michael Todorias addressed parents why schools had to close for cleaning.
We evaluate the safety of the schools on a daily basis with the district. And, when we do have to take that extreme step of closing a school, that's not done lightly.
Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
3 schools remain closed for lead remediation.
Justice for 2 brothers who are wrongfully fired.
Gregory and Jeffrey Cotto worked on the grounds crew for the Oconomowoc Area School District back in 2014. They were accused of stealing $5,000 from the district that should have gone to a scrap metal processor, but it took the district another year to get enough evidence against them. Once they did, the brothers were fired. They were never formally charged with theft or admitted guilt. The state's high court ruled in their favor, as the firing was a violation of the state's Fair Employment Act. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
A Harley-Davidson board member's resignation is drawing attention for its concern over the future of the company.
Severe underperformance and cultural depletion, both commentaries on Harley-Davidson levied by now former board member Jared Dordville when he tendered his resignation April 5th. Also in that letter, a call for the immediate resignation of company CEO Jochen Seitz. Dordville submitted his resignation after he said no notable progress on that matter had been made, but just days later, Seitz announced he planned to retire from his position. The moves come amid a reported loss of $117 million by the company in the fourth quarter of last year. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Coming up, what exactly is in that executive order?
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 3:04.
We didn't write the headline, the Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
A Brewers group outing is the best way to celebrate any special occasion. Whether it's a birthday party, anniversary, or bachelor party, baseball is better with a group. Grab your crew of just 15 or more for an event you won't forget. Brewers account reps make your day at the ballpark a breeze. Plus, get set up with customizable tailgate spaces, seating blocks in your favorite location at American Family Field, and much more. Start planning your group outing now at brewers.com/groups.
Jake suffered with carpal tunnel syndrome.
Tingling numbness in my hands and fingers, not sleeping well at night, tossing and turning, trying to manage with pain pills and stretching, and it just wasn't helping.
He didn't want the traditional invasive carpal tunnel surgery.
I had seen people with bandages and scars and clubs for hands. I just don't have time to be incapable of doing things for 6 to 8 to 10 weeks.
Then he learned about the Ovation Hand Institute and the Ovation Technique, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office.
I wanted to get it looked at sooner than later. So I had the virtual consult. It was very thorough as far as like I was sitting in a doctor's office. I was booked for the procedure 2 weeks later, had my right hand done. Very quick procedure. It was really great. That very night when I went home, it was the first time in probably 3 months my hand did not wake me up.
Book an appointment with the Ovation Hand Institute and find out if you're a candidate for the Ovation Technique.
Probably the most surprising thing was how quickly I was able to do things again. I'm cooking dinner, I'm doing yard work and all that kind of stuff the next day.
Visit ovationhand.com. ovationhand.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time 3:06.
The president's latest executive order aims to maintain acceptable water pressure on your shower heads.
Yes, it's time to make showers great again.
These showers are horrible. There's no pressure. I can't get the shampoo out of my hair. Me either.
Section 2 of the executive order orders the repeal of the 13,000-word regulation defining showerhead from the Obama and Biden administrations. The president directs the Secretary of Energy to publish in the Federal Register a notice rescinding the Energy Conservation Program's definition. The executive order also states that overregulation chokes the American economy and stifles personal freedom. Greg Mansick, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Sports Desk. Only 2 games remain on the Bucs' regular season schedule. Both are against the Detroit Pistons. The Bucs need to win one to secure the number 5 position in the Eastern Conference playoffs.
I'm looking forward to it. I think the crowd in Detroit's going to be amazing. They're going to play hard. They're going to play well, and we're going to have to match it. I can't pick up a better scenario going into the playoffs.
Here tonight's game on 94.5 ESPN at 6 o'clock. After taking 2 of 3 against the Rockies, the Brewers begin a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks in Arizona tonight. Both teams are 7-6 on the season. You can hear tonight's game on WTMJ. Coverage begins at 8:05.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time approaching 3:08.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickert. One of our senior loan consultants recently helped their first-time homebuyer client win over 13 other offers. Of course, it was a team effort with their buyer's agent, and it centered around helping our clients understand what little difference there was to their monthly payment to offer over the asking price. And again, what little difference it would make to give the sellers peace of mind that they'd still buy even if the appraisal came in up to $20,000 short. But that's not all. Our consultant also texted and called the listing agent to reinforce how well qualified our buyers were and that they could, in fact, still close even if the appraisal came in low. Your AccuNet consultant will help you understand your options so you can decide how aggressive you want to be. Then we do everything possible to help you win. Don't let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Know your options and get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
3:09.
Happy Friday. We made it.
How's your computer today?
My computer's terrible. You just looked at me. I'm in a crappy mood because my computer's moving slower than slow. Let's just leave it at that. That's okay, though. We're going to get through it. It's all right. I just want to make sure I have the computers up so that we can tell everybody what's happening in the world, right?
He's screaming.
I was. Thank goodness my mic wasn't on during the break. All right, let's get to it. What we're chasing down today.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Ding, 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 ding. You know what that is? That's a closing bell if my computer worked. That's a closing bell. And guess what? It was a good way to end the week on the markets, okay? This is nice. It's been a very volatile week, and it was another bumpy day today. But things did end up big. Good way to end the week. The Dow was up 619 points today. That's 1.5%. The S&P was up 94. That's 1.8% today. And the NASDAQ, the tech-heavy NASDAQ, was up 337 today. It ended up 2 points on the day. Things are still down from just the point when Donald Trump announced all the tariffs, but at least today we headed the right direction as that trade war appears to escalate with China, but maybe we're headed the right direction, so let's hold on to that.
Yes. Number 2, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., makes a major announcement promising answers on the cause of autism.
By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
In an interview 2 years ago, Kennedy said during an interview on Fox News that he believes autism comes from vaccines. Leaders in advanced research of autism tell ABC News there's no evidence to suggest that link. And the president of the Autism Society of America says perpetuating that myth can be dangerous, even divert much-needed funding for research. According to the CDC, autism spectrum disorder symptoms typically begin before age 3 and can last a lifetime, although symptoms may change over time.
Interesting stuff. Interesting update. Hey, how about this? The third one is a local company with good news today. So everybody's nervous about the market. Companies are saying they're holding back on hiring because they want to see how the tariff situation plays out. Not Northwestern Mutual. Northwestern Mutual says their goal and their plan is to hire 5,000 more workers.
Oh, my goodness.
This year. 5,000.
That's like the Foxconn promise level, and that's the real deal.
Except Northwest, exactly. Good point. So 500 of those will be right here in Wisconsin. They're going to hire 500 in Wisconsin, 200 in the Milwaukee area, and then they have other offices in Madison and Appleton and Eau Claire. Northwestern Mutual is already one of the largest employers in Milwaukee. They have 8,000 employees here, wanting to add 200 more in Milwaukee. With the recent days of stock market volatility, the company says they are now in a good position to advise new clients on how to protect and grow their money. As people are nervous about managing their money, they want to be there for people. Northwestern Mutual is doing more advertising to appeal to workers fresh out of college. They say that's who they are targeting, entry-level jobs at a very good company. Northwestern Mutual hoping to hire more than 5,000 workers, including 500 in Wisconsin, targeting a lot of Gen Z recruits. I love this. This is very good news.
I have a friend who works there in downtown Milwaukee, and she gets a free lunch every day.
That's an incredible little benefit, isn't it?
Isn't it?
That would be really, really fun. Coming up, something we're going to dive into. There's a weird conundrum that the federal law for selling cigarettes to minors is 21. In Milwaukee, the state law, in Wisconsin, the state law is still at 18. How is that possible? And the big problems it's calling for people who want to crack down on selling to our kids in Milwaukee. Alderman Peter Bergalis up next on WTMJ.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, we profile the average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning that they'd be saving a life, becoming everyday heroes.
When I made that decision, I'm going in, I said, Lord, please don't let this be my last day.
When you hear someone screaming from the water, a man clearly in distress.
I try to tell him, stay with me.
But wait.
And so I turn around and there's two more people, farther in, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Everyday Hero on Wisconsin's Morning News, presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Just Between Friends, Milwaukee County. It is here. I'm wearing their T-shirt. It's the largest pop-up shop. Thank you.
That's sweet.
It's the largest pop-up shop where you can buy and sell gently used newborn to teen clothing. It's huge. And kids gear starting at half off the retail price. People are getting huge deals. North Face kind of outfits, squatty, what is it called? The Diaper Genie is only $7.50. I just bought one for a friend. and it was more than $100. The sale is happening right now, and it runs through Sunday, April 13th at the Wisconsin State Fair Parks Expo Center. Get tickets now at milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com or learn more. It's put on by a mother-daughter duo. They help families beat inflation. It's not just parents, but grandparents, too, who should come. Get tickets again and learn more at milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Connect Chiropractic. My back feels great today. My neck feels better than earlier in the week because I went to Connect Chiropractic yesterday. Dr. Olivia saw me, and I know why they're voted Milwaukee's top chiropractor. They take care of people. It's nuanced. It's a long-term care focus on total wellness. Locations in Tosa and Delafield. It's Connect. And guess what? Grand opening for a new place in Oak Creek coming up on May 9th. Free raffle prizes, including gift cards, a tour of the new place. It's Connect Chiropractic. They help with headaches and sleep concerns, even neuropathy. A long-term care focus on making sure you feel great and can do the things you want to do. It's Connect Chiropractic.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
Traffic and weather starts with Debbie Lazaga. How are we doing so far, Deb?
Well, we've got a few issues out there. A couple of broken down vehicles here and there, and then we've got a crash northbound 43 at Keefe. That is off on the right shoulder, incidentally. And then we got delays all the way up from before Fond du Lac Avenue to that point. Southbound side, we've got some delays from Hampton down past Keefe to Locust. Back on the brakes from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette interchange. And then on Loomis, right at 894, we've got another crash there with the right shoulder blocked on, it's northbound Loomis at 894. So be careful if you're heading through that area. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast, pretty good weekend on tap. Let's start with tonight. Mostly clear, low of 34 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny and pleasant, a high of 60 inland. A little cooler along the lake. Pretty good for that Milwaukee Marathon. On Sunday, slight chance for rain, a high of 64. On Monday, partly cloudy, breezy, a high of 59. Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high of 48. Right now, it's sunny and 49 degrees. All right, so the federal age for selling cigarettes to minors is 21. You have to be 21. Guess what? In Wisconsin, we've left the age at 18, even though the federal law says you can't do it unless the kid is 21 or older. In Wisconsin, we have not gotten around to changing that and protecting our children. Peter Bergalis is a guy who's the alderman in Milwaukee, and he wants to make that change, but he's running into lots of obstacles. I had the chance to talk to the alderman earlier. All right, so let's talk through this. I want to start with the age of consent for people to buy tobacco in the city of Milwaukee. It's been 18. You wanted to bring that up to 21, which would match federal standards, and you were told that you couldn't do that today. Can you explain why? What's going on here?
Well, federal law is 21, and that is the law. You have to be 21 to use tobacco in the city of Milwaukee, in the state of Wisconsin, and across the country. But in Milwaukee, our ordinance still says 18, which means that a city of Milwaukee police officer can't write a citation to a gas station clerk that sells cigarettes to someone who's 19 years old. So we were trying to correct that today. Unfortunately, the city attorney's office informed us that correcting our ordinance from 18 to 21 would not be legal or enforceable because it still conflicts with state law. State law is still 18 on the books.
This is amazing, Peter. So the federal law is 21, but because the state law still says 18, individual cities, villages like Milwaukee cannot raise it to 21 because it conflicts with the state law, which conflicts with the federal law. Am I explaining that the right way?
I was just as confused as you were, but even though state law is flawed and not correct, Milwaukee still has to comply with it and still has to conform to it.
Wow. So I like your thought. You are trying to protect those young people in our society who are 18, 19, 20 years old from being able to buy tobacco. And because we don't have our act together in Madison and we don't match the federal standard, you are unable to do that. That's right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was much younger than 18 when I smoked my first cigarette, but I quit smoking December 24th, 2019. And I fully recognize the harm and damage that smoking at a young age can do to someone's health.
How frustrated are you that in Madison they have refused to pass this measure which would match what they're supposed to do because it's the federal standard?
It's not even that they've refused to pass it. It's that the Assembly has passed it twice in a row in recent years, but the Senate has even refused to take a vote. And we know that it'd be a bipartisan effort to pass this and adopt it and make it the law for the state of Wisconsin. But unfortunately, leadership in the state Senate has not even brought it to a vote.
Peter, why do you believe that they won't do in the state Senate what they've done in the Assembly and what you're trying to do in the city of Milwaukee?
That's a question you'd have to ask leadership in the state Senate. Generally, there's a sort of an unwritten rule where they won't bring anything to a vote unless they know that all Republicans in the Senate will be in agreement and pass something unanimously. So I suspect that there may be some outliers that would disagree with the age restriction statewide, but I'm very confident that a majority of senators in Madison would support it.
This really is mind-boggling to me because the feds have said this is the law of the land, and now you have cities, including Milwaukee with your leadership, wanting to mirror that and protect our kids. And in Madison, in the Senate, they just refuse to even take this up. Do you have any confidence or any hope or any optimism that that might change in the Senate?
I have every hope and expectation that those elected to serve and protect the health and welfare of the people in our state will do just that. But from my perspective as an alder in the city of Milwaukee, I can only do what's legal and enforceable here in the city. So although we can't change the age of tobacco in city ordinance at this time, we did separate our legislation, and we're moving forward with restricting the age of consent to use hookah and hookah products in the city of Milwaukee. Other municipalities have done that in the state of Wisconsin. It's a very narrow, we'll call it a loophole in state law that regulates only tobacco products. And because hookah is not tobacco, cities can regulate it. So we've gotten a green light from a previous city attorney to do this. The current city attorney's office is going to re-review it prior to council day on April 22nd. But for now, the committee has recommended adoption or recommended passage of this ordinance change to restrict the age of hookah in the city of Milwaukee.
So this ordinance would mean that you have to be 21 to use hookah or buy hookah paraphernalia. Is that right?
Correct.
Where does vaping fall into this?
According to state law, it depends if there's tobacco or not in that. So vaping was only recently introduced into state law, so that would still mirror state restrictions on tobacco use.
And then if it doesn't have tobacco, it would be like hookah or other things where cities, because of that loophole, could take up regulation if they wanted to. Is that right?
Exactly. So if the reluctance of legislators in Madison to act on this for tobacco restricts our ability to protect the health and welfare of our young people for tobacco use, we can at least get hookah passed right now. Former state representative, now alderperson Jokesa Zamaripa has been working on this for a while. We'll be able to get this across the finish line for now.
So Alderman, you had wanted also to increase the penalties for people that sell tobacco, vaping, or hookah products to people under the age of 21. Where does that part of all this stand?
Hookah will have the same age as what we had in the ordinance before, so that'd be up to $1,000 for selling. And then also there's a $25 penalty previously if you didn't have a sign that said that you have to sell or you have to be of age to purchase tobacco or hookah products. We'll change that from $25 to $250.
All right, that's our guy. That is Peter Bergalis. Okay, so here's the deal. You heard us talk about the Senate has not even taken up this measure. They refused to take it up. I reached out to Devin LeMahieu. He is the Senate Majority Leader. Guess what? I gave him yesterday and all day today, and he didn't get back to me. He can't bother to call me back, can't bother to pick up the phone, can't bother to protect our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't enforce the law, which says that, federally, you have to be 21 to buy cigarettes. So if you are 18, 19, or 20, and a store sells cigarettes to you, the store cannot be held accountable because we do not have the right laws in place here in the state of Wisconsin.
And the bill has been brought to the Senate how many times, John, and it hasn't been brought up?
Well, it's passed in the Assembly, Julia, twice, and the Senate refuses to bring it up. He refuses to let his members vote on it.
And that's the question we want answered from Senator LeMahieu.
Call us, text me, email me. I gave you and your office all my information. Why will you not allow this to come forward for a vote? I talked to an aide to a different senator yesterday who said if LeMahieu allowed this to come to a vote, of course it would pass the Senate in a bipartisan fashion, and the age in Wisconsin would go to 21 instead of 18. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
John at WTMJ.com. That's my email, Senator. You know you have it. I almost gave out my cell phone right now on the air. You have my cell phone. Can we discuss this? Protect our children. Do the right thing. At least let us know. Man up and tell us why you won't do it if you're not going to do it. It is 3:25 at WTMJ. Let's check out the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green to end the week. The Dow is up 619. The S&P up 95. The NASDAQ up 337. That's more than 2%. Good way to end the week. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at Right Choice Tax Resolution. We have talked with a number of new clients who told us the same story. They had a tax situation and went with one of those national firms with the TV and radio ads. You know the ones. They guarantee they can settle your tax owed for pennies on the dollar. They take a $10,000 fee up front, and then you never hear from them again. We are a local firm and just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security get garnished, or a lien put on your house so that you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and call 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a solution to solve your situation now. It will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. The first meeting is free. Call now, 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us.
Do you have a written financial plan? Hi, I'm Aaron Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We have recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move allows us to provide more comprehensive wealth management services to help with all aspects of your finances, including your investments, taxes, estate plan, and more. At Creative Planning, we understand life is busy, and sometimes important things like retirement planning can fall to the wayside. So I'm here to remind you to take time to plan. A 1-hour complimentary consultation with our fiduciary advisors will help you get started on the path to your dream retirement. We will review your current financial situation, your goals and needs, and help you plan for life's what-ifs. Don't delay planning for your future any longer. And even if you already have a plan, a second opinion from our advisors can help determine if there are adjustments to make. Kowal Investment Group is now Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com to get started. That's creativeplanning.com.
Hey, John Mercure here. I'm taking listeners on a super cool trip. The trip is half sold out. I want you to come with us. It's over the holidays. It's called America's Music City for the holidays. It is incredible cities. New Orleans, Memphis, Nashville, we're all together. Colette, my tour group, puts it together and takes care of absolutely everything. They make it easy. An 8-day tour where we discover America's musical legacy wrapped in dazzling lights and seasonal decor, incredible meals, a horse-drawn carriage ride. We learn to make chocolate. We're in the French Quarter. We're at Graceland. This is incredible. I'm really excited. It's early December. It's a great trip. Won't you consider coming with us? I've got brochures with the pricing, pictures, detailed information. Send me an email. I will send you the brochure right now. John at WTMJ.com. John at WTMJ.com. Christmas lights, history, all married together. A magical holiday dinner. We stay at the Opryland Resort in Nashville. Let me get you the info. John at WTMJ.com. It's America's Music City's holidays, early December. Won't you please consider coming with us? John at WTMJ.com.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Paul.
Springtime DIY is in full bloom at Fleet Farm. 3-pound bags of Superior grass seed are on sale for just $9.99. 32-pound bags of Superior wheat and feed are sale priced at $19.99. Plus, buy an M18 5-amp rechargeable battery starter kit and get a select Milwaukee Bear tool for free, in-store only. Indoor, outdoor. Handle all your DIY needs at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
You've probably been hearing a lot of buzz about tariffs.
I haven't.
Really?
What's a tariff?
It's a tax on imported goods.
It makes these imported goods more expensive.
Oh, that explains why I've never heard of tariffs.
Why?
Because 92.3% of the furniture at Penny Mustard is made in the USA.
True.
In fact, most of it is built by local craftsmen and women right here in the Midwest.
And locally sourced furniture will never have a tariff on it.
So when you invest in new furniture at Penny Mustard, you won't be paying extra taxes and shipping costs.
Besides, tariffs or no tariffs, our American-made Penny Mustard Strong furniture will last generations longer than IFE-made furniture shipped in from overseas.
You get so much more for your money when you buy American.
Tell me more about these tariffs.
Can we talk about this later? I'm so tired of hearing about them.
Oh, so I guess you can say that all this talk about tariffs is taxing.
I see what you did there.
PennyMustard.com.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Market shifts, economic uncertainty, and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. No doubt, standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil, and we're totally on board with that. But retirement planning isn't a set-it-and-forget-it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized financial, retirement, estate, and tax plans that adapt as needed and put your goals first always. Already with another firm, but getting the feeling you're lost in the shuffle or they just can't keep up? A second opinion could be the smartest move you could make. If you're managing it yourself, we'll fill in the gaps with professional precision. You work hard to build your future. Don't leave it to chance. Put a pro on your side. Get a proactive plan from a fee-only fiduciary. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin State Fair. Big Group Save Big at the Wisconsin State Fair.
Big Group save big at Wisconsin State Fair. Take advantage of discounted group tickets for parties of 25 or more at wistatefair.com. Hurry, deals end April 27th.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story, more tension over tariffs.
I'm Julia Fellow. Negotiations on nuclear weapons is coming.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. An accident on westbound 94 at Mitchell Boulevard really wreaking havoc. It was in traffic for a little bit. It's off on the right shoulder now, but we got backup stretching all the way back to the Marquette, and that is solid. Northbound 43 backing up coming out of the Marquette all the way up towards an accident at Keefe. This one is off on the right shoulder as well. Southbound, you're seeing delays just south of Hampton all the way down through the Marquette down to the KK River crossing. And don't forget about this other accident on Loomis northbound right at 894 off on the right shoulder. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here tonight, a little frosty, a low of 34. Tomorrow, sunny and pleasant. 60 degrees inland, 54 at the lake. Right now, it's sunny and 48 degrees in Milwaukee.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, China's boosting tariffs on U.S. imports to 125% starting tomorrow. ABC's Karen Travers.
These are very complex conversations that take place anytime a U.S. president meets with the president of China. When Trump and Xi, or when Biden and Xi have met before, it was months in the making, just for a sit-down meeting, just for a phone call. So this is not necessarily a pick up the phone and chat and try to work this out. There would be a lot that would go into it, and the White House is very much indicating they're waiting for their phone to ring from China.
The announcement follows the White House pushing up tariffs on Chinese goods to 145%.
Talks between the U.S. and Iran on a nuclear deal starts tomorrow.
U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff will spearhead the talks with Iran in Oman. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump has given Witkoff clear marching orders.
His ultimate goal and the ultimate objective is to ensure that Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon.
And if Iran fails to agree?
All options are on the table.
President Trump pulled out of a nuclear deal with Iran during his first term in office. Evidence suggests that since then, Iran has been adding to its stockpile of enriched uranium. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Construction is moving quickly ahead of the NFL draft in Green Bay.
The NFL, they have it down to a science.
Packers president Mark Murphy says the stage is nearly set.
They've done a great job. It's unbelievable. The roof is up on the stage already.
The draft just 2 weeks away, then before you know it, the regular season. And Murphy tells Wisconsin's Morning News he expects league owners to ban that tush-push.
I think there is a good chance.
And he also believes an 18-game regular season is in the near future.
The quality of the preseason has always been a concern, and I think it's getting worse and worse.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
The Packers tailgate tour wraps up tomorrow in Ash, Lebanon.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Your Milwaukee Bucks need one win to secure number 5 position in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They have 2 chances to do that, both against Detroit Pistons in regular season play. The Brewers stay out west to start a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks in Arizona tonight. They're hoping for another winning series after finishing off the Rockies. Hear the game right here on WTMJ with coverage beginning at 8:05.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 3:35.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they called a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Hey, a Friday Lenten fish fry is a family tradition. It's a great tradition in Wisconsin. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Take your family to the amazing Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford today for their all-you-can-eat Lent fish fry for just $7.99. You don't need to pay $16 or more. The Mine Shaft fish fry is $7.99, and it's all you can eat. Relax with a sweet old-fashioned, a glass of wine, and ice-cold tap beer. Kids menu that starts at $3.99. And then those kids, you get a little entertainment, too. They can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly set aside from the dining area. Wherever you live, it's worth that easy drive to the Mine Shaft today for your Friday all-you-can-eat Lenten fish fry. It's $7.99. Desserts are buy one, get one free. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. Lots of seating, plenty of close parking. The Sunday brunch is all you can eat. It's a feast for under $15. Make a quick call. Reserve your table today for the $7.99 fish fry. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
It is National Pet Day. I love it. As we get into the segment, let's tell you how you can see pictures of our dogs. You can text the word WATCH to 855-616-1620. There's going to be a really cute picture of
Debbie's
Murphy.
dog.
There's
my
Debbie's
wedding.
dogs.
Mine was an honorary ring bearer.
Yours is a beautiful picture. And Bella and Baxter, my little corgis. So you can rotate through. We'll see those pictures. As we celebrate National Pet Day, let's bring in Erica Sinner. She's the author of Pets Are Family, and she's a big leading voice in the pet industry. Thank you so much for being with us, Erica.
Thank you for having me and celebrating this fun, important holiday.
It is a fun day. That's the perfect way to put it. It's more than just having someone at home that you feed once or twice a day. Can you talk about the studies that show how pets help reduce stress and anxiety?
Absolutely. I mean, it really is. Pets provide unconditional love, companionship, emotional support. They often become central to our daily lives and part of our own identity. And research has really shown that they increase our serotonin, they increase our dopamine, and what they also lower is our cortisol, which is a stress hormone, just by looking into their eyes. So there is data-backed research on the bond that we have, but also just the love that we share. It's really powerful. It shapes our choices from our spending habits to our career decisions. They are part of our family.
Yeah, and it's really thought-provoking what you were saying about the workplace and a bigger conversation of maybe why corporate culture is still failing to recognize pet parenthood.
Yeah, I think, traditional work policies just haven't really evolved yet to reflect our modern families that include animals. And that leaves a major gap in support for emotional well-being of millions of employees. There's 65 million U.S. homes today that have just dogs alone, and many of them consider them part of their family. And so as an employer myself, I think it's important for us to start having these conversations so that we can be there in these moments that don't happen too often, but can have a big impact to your business and your brand reputation.
There's no doubt, Erica, that they're like part of our families. And there's no doubt if you lose a dog or you lose a cat, it's absolutely devastating. Are there companies that have bereavement policies in place? How rare is that for your pet?
It is a rare thing. I think in the U.S., bereavement in general, I think is not fully understood or fully acknowledged. And the CDC reports American companies lose $226 billion every year in unmanaged grief. So I do think it's time for us all to start paying attention and to really think about how animals are incorporated into that. And companies who have incorporated it, the San Jose University did a study that has actually shown that when you do have compassionate policies like pet bereavement, you have happier employees and higher retention rates, which is really good for the bottom line because backfilling a position is 3 to 4 times that salaried position. So again, there is a emotional and economic benefit by recognizing the new modern family.
Which companies are doing this?
I've heard of the bigger ones that you would expect in Silicon Valley or like the Facebooks, the Googles. There's even some hotels that have started to have. Hilton has come out with their pet bereavement policy. But I think it's just starting to normalize the conversation and recognize this new generation of workers. They're choosing not to have kids. They're having animals and they are considering them part of their family. And so I think as an employer, you've just got to start, recognizing our new workforce.
What do you say to companies who say, we know people love their pets, but it's about dollars and cents. It's about business. We can't afford to give people time off to grieve a pet.
For all of them, I reference back to the CDC numbers around the billions of dollars, but I would also say, think about this isn't a moment that happens all of the time. If you have an employee who's coming in and grieving and they're talking to your clients, to your customers, they're talking to the teams around them, there's going to be a real impact to the culture that you have, how your brand is showing up in the world, but also their quality of work isn't going to be there. So you have a real benefit in being able to be there for this very important moment for them and also protect your own company during this time.
Erica Sinner is the CEO of a big company and the author of Pets Are Family. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been fun.
Thank you for having me. Have a great weekend.
Hey, Brandon, let's leave the pictures up. If you want to see our pets, Julia with beautiful Murphy on her wedding day, Bella and Baxter. And Deb, what's the name of your 2 dogs in the picture?
Hamilton is the Schnauzer, and Doug is the black one.
I love that. That makes me smile.
Text WATCH. Watch to our setting unlimited talk and text line 855-616-1620.
Brewers baseball is the sound of summer in Milwaukee. And now you can catch the Brewers on local TV for select Tuesday night games.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she
It's Brew Crew Tuesdays. On April 15th, the Crew take on the Detroit Tigers at 6:40 p.m.
Swing. He went. Another strikeout for Freddie Peralta.
This Brew Crew Tuesday is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. See the action on Fox 6 in Milwaukee and check your local listings for where you can watch over the air statewide on April 15th.
John Mercure here for Dave Drakamp Heating. It's that time of year where I know it's starting to get warm, but it's also staying very cold sometimes at night. It's spring, it's winter, it's a taste of summer. Then it's more spring and winter. You get whacked by this weather all the time this time of year. So it's really important that you make sure that your home comfort system is in great shape. There will be weeks coming up where you might use the furnace and the air conditioner all at the same time. In my house, I'm getting ready to lock Michelle out of the furnace. That's what I do. I think April 15th, it's going to be no more furnace day in our house. Throw on an extra sweater. Dave Drakamp, they've got you covered no matter which system you're thinking about. Nursing an old furnace through the winter, worried about the AC come summer. Dave Drakamp, my friends there, they will take great care of you. If they suggest you need a new system after coming out to look at it, it's because you need it. If there's one thing I know, It's that they're professional, kind, and they're honest. It's Dave Drakekamp. We've welcomed them into our home for many, many years. Check them out today. They'll give you peace of mind. It's Dave Drakekamp Heating.
A Rolex isn't as cheap as a Casio, and you can't buy a gold bar for the price of a candy bar. But while they last, you can buy high-end Beautyrest Black and Sealy Posturepedic mattresses for nowhere near high-end prices. Hassellus Mattress is clearing out a handful of premium floor models. These are the best of the best, and now you can get them for way less. Like a Beautyrest Black LX Hybrid was $3,599, but now it's just $971. Or a Sealy Posturepedic Golden Acres Pillow Top was $1,093, but the floor model is just $546. Visit any employee-free Hassellus showroom and test your favorite floor model without salespeople breathing down your neck. You won't find these mattresses priced this low anywhere else. It's like buying a Lamborghini for $10,000 just because it sat on the showroom floor. Only a few floor models are available at each Hassellus mattress location, and when they're gone for good. Find an employee-free showroom near you at hassellus.com.
A Brewers group outing is the best way to celebrate any special occasion. Whether it's a birthday party, anniversary, or bachelor party, baseball is better with the group. Grab your crew of just 15 or more for an event you won't forget. Brewers account reps make your day at the ballpark a breeze. Plus, get set up with customizable tailgate spaces, seating blocks in your favorite location at American Family Field, and much more. Start planning your group outing now at brewers.com/groups.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. For convenient car shopping and financing, visit Heiser Automotive Group at one of their 4 locations: Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Or visit Heiser.com, because today's your day.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lazaga, how are the roads?
Well, we got a new accident now eastbound 94 at Blue Mound Road. We got the left lane blocked, so watch out for that. Emergency crews on the scene. Delays are stretching back to Highway 164. Beyond that, your general delays from 84th Street all the way through the stadium. The westbound side, that earlier issue at Mitchell Boulevard's been cleared out of the way, but we do still have delays through the Marquette all the way out to Hawley Road. Southbound on 43, backing up just before Capitol Drive, and that stretches all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. A little more of a delay then from about Lincoln down towards the KK River crossing. Northbound is dealing with an accident at Keefe on the right shoulder. We're seeing delays from Kilbourne all the way up to Keefe. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Frosty tonight. It'll be calm winds. A low of 34. Tomorrow, sunny and pleasant. 60 degrees inland, 54 at the lake. A slight chance of showers on Sunday, 64 inland, 56 at the lake. Monday, it's going to be breezy, a slight chance of morning showers, a high of 59. Partly cloudy and breezy Tuesday with a high of 48. Right now, it's partly sunny and 48 degrees in Milwaukee.
The Wisconsin's Afternoon News Podcast is sponsored by Dave Drakekamp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition.
At 3:47 on WTMJ, investigation is underway into the helicopter crash that killed half a dozen people when the chopper plunged into New York City's Hudson River. Here's a witness, Belle Angel, talking to reporters right after it happened yesterday.
There was like an explosion on the propeller, but there was a little slitter of light. So the people that were next to me, we were like, was that a lightning or what? But the propeller just exploded.
Luke Barr is ABC News law enforcement reporter. Luke, I saw that there was a afternoon news conference that just wrapped up. What did we learn?
Well, we learned that the wreckage exam is now underway for that helicopter that crashed into the Hudson River. The engine and other components have been pulled out of the wreckage site and will be closely examined by the NTSB. And this is according to the chairwoman who spoke to reporters on Friday. And actually, divers are still in the water right now, working to recover other pieces of the helicopter, including some important ones. The main rotor, the main transmission, the roof structure, and the tail structure have all yet to be recovered.
So, Luke, there were reports that the pilot said, "I'm running out of gas." And then there were reports that there was an explosion and something weird going on with the tail. Could the two be related? Do they know? Did he run out of gas?
I think that's the main question everybody wants to know, and I think it might be too early to tell. the NTSB is going to look at all of the factors in this situation, from whether he was running on the gas, the mechanical issues, if there was one on the plane, on the chopper. There's just a whole host of issues that could have gone wrong. Obviously, something went wrong, but what that is, I do think the NTSB is going to look pretty thoroughly at this. And in fact, they're still trying to put the pieces together. The head of the NTSB asked the public today to send any photos or videos of the crash, to the NTSB for further investigation.
See that the FAA records show the helicopter is more than 20 years old. It was its sixth flight of the day over Manhattan for about 15 minutes before it broke apart. Do we know anything about the victims?
Well, we do know that one was the pilot, obviously, and then another was a family from Spain that was visiting New York. The father was a Siemens executive. His wife was on board, and their three children. The wife was just had celebrated her birthday. One of the children was about to turn 8. They were kind of doing this on a tourism, looking at the sights of New York City when this unfortunate accident happened.
Did they try to save the children? I heard that they plucked them from the water and tried to take all three to a local hospital.
Yeah, and that's what reporting has said. But all three children and all the family also had passed away in this incident. So it's a really tragic situation in New York, and they're trying to put all the pieces together. And they're also trying to expedite the release of the family to fly back to Spain and have services for the family there.
Luke Barr is with us, ABC News in Washington. What do we know about the pilot?
We know that the pilot. We know that the pilot is a 36-year-old. He served in the military. He's accumulated over 780 hours of total flight time. We don't know much more than that. I think he's certainly going to be looked at in this NTSB review as is standard. They're also going to look at the New York Helicopter Tours Company, whether they have any history of any incidents or accidents, and I think that they're going to take sort of a whole look at even airspace in New York and whether it's safe to fly in a busy airspace.
Luke, is this a common route for helicopters to take?
It is. It's one of those. The Wall Street heliport is such a busy heliport. That's where all of the deliveries, if you think about deliveries by helicopter, happen in New York. It's where the president will fly into. This is a very heavily trafficked area, and it's certainly something that I think New York is going to have to look at. Whether they need to make any changes. If you look at what happened at Reagan, the changes were made instantly. So will that happen? Remains to be seen.
So let's talk about Reagan. Let's talk about Washington for a minute. So Luke, you live in Washington. Does it ever become unnerving, especially after what happened at Reagan, because there are so many helicopters in such a congested space? Or do you just begin to take for granted that, there go 3 more, Hueys flying over the mall?
It's certainly, you notice them definitely when you're in town and you're just, walking around. You see tons of helicopters around, and then you kind of look at the airspace being so congested. And I think that was one of the things in the immediate aftermath of the incident at Reagan, which that they need to clear out, and they did clear out a lot of the helicopter routes that were intersecting with commercial flight patterns. And you think about that, and you think about what happened in New York, and you have to wonder, are these airspaces, especially in big cities, New York, Washington, too heavily trafficked?
What's so jarring to me is that the rotor was completely off. You didn't see it. It's plummeting like free fall down into the river, and then the tail's ripped off. Luke, do we have any hypothesis of how this could have happened?
I think that's one of the things the NTSB is going to really take a look at is how did this aircraft, just break apart in midair? And I think that's kind of why you're seeing the NTSB look at photos and videos of the crash and get more because they want to see, okay, what happened? How did this happen? And make sure that doesn't happen again. That helicopter safety in the United States isn't at risk.
ABC's Luke Barr. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
You said it. It's so unnerving when you see the video. And in this day and age, the video is everywhere. And there are multiple angles of the video. And to hear the pilot say, I think I'm running out of gas. But then it seems like that would have nothing to do with the rotor and the tail and the breaking apart.
The witness said they heard a loud snap or a sound barrier breaking sound.
So would that have anything to do with running out of gas? They seem like two very separate issues. I don't know how running out of gas would lead to the catastrophic physical failure that it sounds like
Could
happened.
you imagine being in that helicopter
And knowing you're going down?
upside down?
Yeah, and you have a few seconds to know before you hit the water.
Definitely no.
Those make me very nervous. We took a helicopter ride in South Africa over Victoria Falls, and I was such a nervous wreck. And it was cool. You see the elephants down below and all that, but I don't know. I've had other opportunities to do that. We've never done that in New York. We go every year. We've never done it over the Grand Canyon. We had friends that did it. It just makes me really nervous.
I was in Milwaukee in Chopper 4, and we got pretty close to a building. The helicopter pilot was like, yeah, you guys, I didn't mean to get that close.
Okay, well, that's the opposite of my Channel 4 story. So my Channel 4 story, we had a helicopter pilot named Cowboy Bill. How about that for a chopper pilot's name? Cowboy Bill.
Thanks.
We were flying with him. He was a Vietnam veteran pilot. We were flying from the lakefront. We were going to Timmerman Field where they kept Chopper 4. We were going right towards the U.S. Bank building. The photographer I was with, a guy named Mark that you know, said, Bill, you see the U.S. Bank building, right? And he said, oh, yeah. They had a conference floor up on the 20th floor. Wait till we get really close to the building. You'll be able to see the looks on their faces. I was so scared.
John, I wasn't going to say the building. It was the U.S. Bank Tower,
So we on purpose flew near the building, and we were like 20 feet from the building.
I was so close I could see the granular side of the building.
Yeah. I could see the color of the guy's eyes, practically.
Oh, gosh.
And Bill was laughing. That was not funny. And shortly after that, Bill did not fly Chopper 4 anymore.
Good.
It is 3:56 at WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The owner of Pizzeria Scotti in West Dallas plans to open a second pizzeria in the city. The new Trevino's Pizza, opening on May 1st, will take the space previously occupied by Pepe's Pizza on South 70th Street. Construction begins in August on the conversion of vacant office space in the downtown Mitchell building into 60 market-rate apartments. The estimated $20 million project is the latest office-to-apartment conversion for J. Jeffers & Company. Stanek Tool LLC of New Berlin files for receivership in Waukesha County Circuit Court. The company said it will continue operations while a receiver seeks a buyer for the business. I'm Linda Spice with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Oh, my goodness, it's Friday. You know, one of the things I love about Fridays, I stop in for my Friday cocktail supplies at Otto's Wine and Spirits. They're the best in the business. They've got incredible selection. They've got the best prices. They really do. And the vibe in the stores is super cool. You've been by their places. They've got several in the Milwaukee area. Mine that I go to most often is Menominee Falls. They'll beat any advertised price. Wisconsin strong wine selection from around the world and here in the United States. The beer selection, same thing, all around the world, specialty beers and all the stuff like Miller Lite that you count on. Employee-owned, knowledgeable staff. They're going to take great care of you. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Traffic and weather sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield makes vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The season has only just begun, and the crew are already back in the desert.
Is a fly ball deep center field, back to the track. Bye-bye baseball, Christian Yelich.
Our Brewers Diamondbacks coverage starts tonight at 8:05 on your home for the Milwaukee Brewers, 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm John Mercure, your top story, giving the okay to deport an activist.
I'm Julia Fellows. So mad he quit the board.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Eastbound 94 continues a very heavy ride all the way back to Highway 16 to an accident scene right at Blue Mound Road. The two left lanes are blocked, so really only one lane of traffic is getting through there, so it was a tight squeeze. Beyond that, a little bit backed up from 76th Street to about Hawley Road, and then again through the stadium. The westbound side's backed up from 13th Street out past Mitchell Boulevard, almost to Hawley Road. Earlier accident, northbound 43 at Keefe is gone, but the delays are still there from Kilbourne all the way up to Keefe. Southbound from just before Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 34. Tomorrow, sunny and pleasant, a high of 60. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a Louisiana immigration judge ruling a pro-Palestinian activist can be deported. Columbia University grad student Mohammed Khalil was arrested based on the federal government's argument he poses a national security risk. He was arrested in New York after participating in a pro-Palestinian demonstration. His lawyers say his detention was a violation of free speech since he is a legal U.S. citizen.
Moving migrants to other countries could pose an issue to the Trump administration. Former Department of Homeland Security counterterrorism coordinator John Cohen tells Wisconsin's Midday News the major problem is the U.S. not being able to hold migrants with criminal records.
We don't have the detention space to keep these people in custody in the U.S., and some of the countries that they come from aren't accepting them. So they're being arrested, and then they're being sent back into the community. So there's a lot of challenges, and it's an achievable goal, but it's achievable if it's done right. And right now what we've seen is that it's not being done right.
He says the administration needs to either build more holding facilities or create better immigration policies.
A small plane crashed this morning near the airport in Boca Raton, Florida, leaving 3 people dead and 1 injured. Aviation expert Willard Shepard.
I-95 is right there. And so a left turn would have taken the plane very close to I-95, and you actually go over I-95 to come back to land. So that was what was underway when obviously something catastrophic happened and the plane went down.
Witnesses reported the plane had trouble on takeoff and tried to return to land. The crash also pushed a car onto railroad tracks.
Questions from frustrated parents at Milwaukee Public Schools' virtual town hall.
How many schools have any reportable levels of lead dust consistent with the new EPA rule? How many schools have lead in the soil that exceed 200 micrograms per square foot? Also a new EPA rule.
Lead remediation is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to repairing the literal foundation of Milwaukee Public Schools. Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casellius tells parents the district has hundreds of millions of dollars in deferred maintenance.
Our buildings on average are 85 years old, and so it is going to require all of you advocating, all of us advocating together to really fix all of the condition of our school buildings.
3 MPS schools remain closed for lead cleanup.
A Harley-Davidson board member resigned over concerns regarding the Milwaukee company's direction. Jared Dourdeville had been calling for the immediate resignation of company CEO Jochen Zeitz when he tendered his resignation April 5th. Days later, Zeitz announced his plans to retire. The move comes as Harley-Davidson reported a net loss of $117 million at the end of 2024.
A big expansion for bicyclists. The Bubbler bike system is adding 500 electrical bikes and 800 new individual docks this year. It'll be the network's largest expansion in history.
Coming up, a big birthday at a German zoo.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:04.
This report is brought to you by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
It's that time of year. Time to get out and check out your home after the long, cold winter. Time to see another year of aging, another year of wear and tear. The time is now to update your home. Time to bring pride back into your place. Time to feel good about your property. Time to visit Siding Unlimited's showroom. Siding Unlimited is hosting their annual open house on Saturday, April 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Your time for hands-on experience operating our windows, investigating our siding, and seeing the complete roofing system designed for full protection. Stop by and open our doors to see how changing yours will upgrade your home. Siding Unlimited's open house will give you the opportunity to meet the team that has won 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year. That is a mouthful. 5-star roofing installation and platinum siding installation. When it comes to updating and upgrading your home, Siding Unlimited is proven to be Wisconsin's best windows, siding, and roofing installation team. Stop by our showroom or visit sidingunlimited.com to start your next project.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Market shifts, economic uncertainty, and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. No doubt, standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil, and we're totally on board with that. But retirement planning isn't a set-it-and-forget-it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized financial, retirement, estate, and tax plans that adapt as needed and put your goals first always. Already with another firm, but getting the feeling you're lost in the shuffle or they just can't keep up? A second opinion could be the smartest move you could make. If you're managing it yourself, we'll fill in the gaps with professional precision. You work hard to build your future. Don't leave it to chance. Put a pro on your side. Get a proactive plan from a fee-only fiduciary. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:06.
A very special birthday celebration for an elderly gorilla, CBS Cammie McCormick.
Fatu is 68 years old. At the Berlin Zoo, she was presented with a birthday basket of fruit and vegetables. The zoo says she's no spring chicken and has her fair share of aches and pains, and she doesn't have teeth anymore. Her diet's been adjusted by zookeepers who say they cook her meals and crack her walnuts.
Gorillas usually live for about 40 years in the wild and longer in captivity.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Only 2 games remain on the Bucs' regular season schedule. Both are against the Detroit Pistons. The Bucs need 1 win to secure the number 5 position in the Eastern Conference playoffs.
I'm looking forward to it. I think the crowd in Detroit's going to be amazing. They're going to play hard. They're going to play well, and we're going to have to match it. I can't pick up a better scenario going into the playoffs.
Tonight's game is at 6 o'clock. And after taking 2 of 3 against the Rockies, the Brewers begin a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks in Arizona tonight. Both teams are 7-6 on the season. Here tonight's game on WTMJ. Coverage begins at 8:05.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:08.
Outdoor Living Unlimited continues to build amazing backyard spaces. Imagine grilling on your new deck or entertaining friends on your outdoor kitchen. Adding a screen room is another way to enhance your space. Outdoor Living Unlimited provides ideas, custom designs, and installation of some of the area's finest projects. Stop by our showroom on Saturday, April 26th from 9 to 1 p.m. for our open house. See why Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts. Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
We made it. Hope you're having a really good Friday. It's Food Waste Prevention Week, and Wisconsin has some work to do. More than 15% of waste heading to southeast Wisconsin landfills comes from edible food. At the same time, 1 in 7 households here face food insecurity. Here's WTMJ's Jessica Gatzo.
So what is Milwaukee doing to reclaim those 1.2 billion pounds of annual local food waste and redistribute it to our neighbors?
A lot of the food pantries are struggling with acquiring food for the pantries, and so many grocery stores have surplus. It feels like a bridge that needs to be connected somehow.
That's Bill Polachek, a volunteer driver with Nourish MKE, formerly Frieden's Food Pantries.
We prioritize getting fruits and vegetables because they do have a shorter shelf life, and it's obviously good for healthy eating. But, once there's room, then there might be some room for bread. I've even had containers of ice cream.
Valerie McMillan is Nourish MKE's executive director.
We work with places like Aldi, Trader Joe's, Sendix, Outpost as well. We have a team of rescue volunteer drivers who go out and do pickups at these locations and then drop them off at our food pantries.
Then more volunteers do the sorting.
We do have a rigorous sorting process because especially with the fresh food, like it might be a little too wilty or maybe there's a few too many strawberries that are moldy in the package or what have you. And so we want to make sure that all of that stuff is the same quality that you would get in a grocery store.
1/3 of their donations come through this volunteer-driven food recovery. At a local pantry, that's one of 3 tiers where donations tend to come from. The other 2/3 come from the National Emergency Food Assistance Program.
And that's sort of the government commodity food that you're thinking of when a lot of people have an idea of what is on the shelves at food pantries. You have like all of the same green beans, all of the same dried cranberries, all of the same cereals, things like that.
And regional food recovery efforts.
Feeding America does more with food recovery, especially through major connections through places like Kroger.
At the City of Milwaukee Environmental Collaboration Office, a pilot project is exploring ways to initiate even more of the local level recovery.
Milwaukee has literally hundreds of food recovery agencies, and sometimes it's 2 women in a church basement doing the best that they can to provide turkeys at Thanksgiving, and other times it's a place like Ebenezer Stone where there's tens of thousands of cold storage space.
Andy Shaka is the project lead for Feed MKE.
Feed stands for Food Access Equitable Distribution, because the real belief is that there's ample food. It's just not getting to the people who need it, right? We're not feeding the hungry. We're not keeping food out of landfills.
Thanks to USDA funding, the project has awarded 11 mini grants. Some of these are building capacity by simply hiring more employees. Others bolster food recovery not from the grocery store, but straight from the soil in a process called gleaning.
Organizing a group of volunteers who go out to a farm who has surplus and pick it right off the vine so it doesn't rot in the field and distribute it to a pantry or a program that needs it.
One of the mini grant recipients is My Soul Brew Kombucha.
We're able to take these glean items and turn them into either
new flavors for the kombucha, or we can take them and make them into garnishes. We're expanding our line and making finishing dusts.
Owner Alicia Miller recently launched a line of cans and says the Feed MKE grant will help her reach areas in need.
If our mission is to create access and for us to be in, food desert areas, how do we do that the proper way? Like, how do I get into corner stores?
Andy Shaka again.
If we look at the city map and we say we've got 15 aldermanic districts and we've got great representation for supported food recovery agencies and community drop sites for composting, now how do we link these communities so that they're able to talk to one another more? Create systems that support the whole community and invite everyone to feel equally dignified in terms of approaching the issue wherever they're coming from.
For WTMJ News, I'm Jessica Gatso.
All right, it's 4:13 at WTMJ. Up next, are you in mourning like Julia and I? This is serious. 2 of We Energy's longest returning Falcons died of the bird flu recently.
I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't either. It's shocking news. It's sad news. What's going on there? What happens next? And are there really other birds already living in their nest? What? Allison from We Energies with us in the studio. Up next.
When it rains, it pours. But sometimes it hails. Or worse.
That tornado warning again is for Fond du Lac and Dodge County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now.
Keep us within reach for Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts.
Even if a tornado does not touch down, we know that there are powerful straight line winds.
On 620 WTMJ and WTMJ.com.
Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, their mission is to transform the culture of care for all those folks that are living with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. Azura cares. Azura is compassionate, they're kind, and their folks have specialized training in this area. This is a tough decision if someone you love is in this situation. Azura is the place. Several locations throughout southeast Wisconsin, I have been to them. I've watched them work. Wisconsin-based and family-owned, they just get it and they care. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Hi, I'm Rose Gray with Fox World Travel, and I'm excited to share that our exclusive guided Alaska land and sea journeys are now available for 2026. We partner with Holland America Line to curate the best and most sought-after experiences to Alaska. We send hundreds of travelers from Wisconsin to Alaska every year, along with experienced Fox tour managers for peace of mind. Don't just picture Alaska, live it. We have limited spots, and these tours are booking fast. Visit Fox World Travel online or call 866 Go Fox Go.
Hi, this is Bruce Nemovitz, Senior Real Estate Specialist and founder of Bruce's Team. We understand that moving from your longtime home can feel overwhelming. Ready for a smaller space, warmer climate, want to live closer to the grandkids, or you're just sick of the upkeep? From downsizing to preparing your home for sale, our team has guided over 3,000 families through the transition. Bruce's Team helps you every step of the way. Let us take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. Visit brucesteam.com today.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. How's that ride rolling, Deb?
Well, still heavy on eastbound 94. We got that accident at Blue Mound Road with the 2 left lanes blocked. So now we've got delays stretching all the way back past Highway 16. It is a slow crawl through there. A little bit closer into town, just going to be slow then from Mitchell Boulevard to about 35th Street. Southbound 43 still very heavy from Keefe all the way down to the KK River. Northbound is backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue to Keefe. Southbound 41 has a heavy ride from Appleton Avenue all the way down to Capitol Drive, with the northbound side slowing from Mayfair Road up past Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 34. Tomorrow, sunny and pleasant. Pretty good Saturday, a high of 60. On Sunday, a little bit of cloud cover, a high of 64. Monday, breezy, a high of 59. And on Tuesday, breezy, a high of 48. Right now, not bad at all. Bright sunshine and 49 degrees. Okay, Julie and I spent a lot of time on the show talking about the awesome Peregrine Falcons. We Energies has several locations.
There's live cams.
The Oak Creek plant, the Valley plant. Right now I'm looking at all cameras. I have them up here. And the Port Washington plant. recently had something very sad happen. 2 of the longest returning falcons to the We Energies nest boxes died, presumably of bird flu. The falcons are Bryn and Beasley. Bryn's body was recently found in the nest box.
Oh, my.
That's very sad. Beasley stopped returning to the nest a few days afterwards. Undoubtedly had a broken heart.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening now? The other birds are doing well.
The other birds are doing well. We have 9 total eggs at our other nest sites.
That's a lot.
And, the silver lining to all of this is that we have 2 new peregrine falcons at the Port Washington nest box.
That's Allison Truey that's talking to us. She's with us live from We Energies in the studio. Let's start, before we get to the new ones that are there, what do we know about what happened to Bryn and Beasley?
Yeah, it's obviously a heartbreaking situation. When I heard the news, my heart literally just dropped. It's, everybody gets so attached to these birds because they watch them year after year, lay eggs, raise their chicks, teach them how to fly. They come back. They've been a staple for literally a decade at this point. So unfortunately, as you said, we found Bryn's body in the nest box. And her mate Beasley stopped returning within a few days.
Oh my goodness!
Do we know for sure that Beasley's dead, or could be out there floating around?
He's been so established in the nest box. It's so unlike him to have not come back, which is why our peregrine falcon expert thinks that he's probably no longer with us.
Were either banded?
Yeah, both were banded. That's how we know their names. Yep.
Could we track him on where Beasley might be?
Oh, yeah. So there's no GPS attached to them. So it's just the band. It has like a number and a letter on it and different colors. And so that way, like if a birder sees them, they can use their phone to zoom in, or they can use a scope to like see the code and look up who that bird is.
Interesting. Did they both, did they lay eggs before they passed away?
Not this year, no. But yeah, Bryn alone laid 30 eggs.
Wow.
Raised 30 chicks. And together, the 2 of them had 22. But Bryn had a mate before Beasley.
And they're extremely endangered. We Energies, like 20% of the peregrine falcon population in Wisconsin is thanks to We Energies. So did people see it on the live stream that Bryn was there?
We don't think so. It's possible. Our peregrine falcon expert, every day he's watching these birds. So at this time of year in particular, we're looking for eggs that have been laid. So he did a routine scan of the nest box, realized what had happened. So it's possible, but probably unlikely that somebody caught it at that exact moment.
Well, oh my gosh, you guys. What? I hate to interrupt you, but look, both the birds just landed in Port Washington.
They know we're talking about.
Yeah. When we came on the air, neither of them were there. And one bird was there, and just the other one just landed on that little perch thing there. What can you tell us about the 2 birds that are there now? Like, they weren't here before. They were living somewhere else. How does this happen?
Yeah, so they're called floaters. They're birds that just don't have a nest site or a mate. And so they're waiting for an opportunity like this where, something happens to a falcon and they can move in and start their own families. So it's an unbanded female, so we don't know much about her. And it's a male falcon named Ham Solo, and he was born at the Miller Coors nest cam a couple of years ago. So we're excited to have new falcons there, and we're hopeful, they're a little delayed because they just got to this nest site and they're still getting to know each other, but we're hoping that they're going to lay eggs soon in the coming days.
Is it still early enough for them to be able to lay eggs?
Yeah. Our peregrine falcon expert thinks it's going to happen just because they've been there for a couple of weeks now together, still getting to know each other. But yeah, we're hopeful that this season it'll be a little delayed compared to the other nest sites.
Hey, come here very often.
Yeah.
Do you ban the adult? Can you ban them when they're adults? Is there the chance that the woman will ever be banned, or no? That's too late.
No, yeah, they're too fierce at this point.
Too dangerous.
Yes.
Oh yes, my husband was talking about by the lakefront. There's another location where they have it like right downtown by the Hone, by the sewerage district. Mm-hmm. He said that make sure that you, even with a hard hat, to be aware because they can break through the hard hats.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Falcons. I know.
How long will they live in a situation like this generally? What's the life expectancy?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's like up to 15 years. It may be longer in some cases.
So here's the silver lining, John. We are watching a romance bud.
We are.
That's true.
In Port Washington.
We're like watching the courting happening right now. I hope it stays PG because there's a lot of kids that watch this.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing.
They are beautiful.
It's really amazing to see them right now, like just there. They're there. So how are the other ones doing? At the other locations, how's everything going?
Everything's going well. Yeah, we have 4 eggs in Oak Creek. We're expecting those to start hatching by the end of the month, so just in a couple weeks, really. And we have 3 eggs up in Weston, which is in Rothschild, Wisconsin, kind of central Wisconsin. And then we have 2 eggs at the Valley Power Plant in Milwaukee.
Do the girls and boys look the same? Can a falconer tell by looking at them which is a girl and which is a boy?
Yeah, you might be able to tell too. So the female's like about a third larger than the male.
Okay, so if they're
the larger
together,
one,
you can
yes.
tell easily.
Yes.
Otherwise, maybe if you know what you're looking for.
Yes, exactly.
I want to know if this is the girl or the boy on the ledge. Like, is she playing hard to get? She's like, hey. She's like out on the little stick thing.
Well, they're not together. They're not close to each other, but at least they're in the nesting box. It could happen.
Well,
Maybe
you guys get tired of us. She's probably like, stay over there for a while. Hey, by the way, if you text the word watch right now, you can see the Falcon Cam.
Oh,
Brandon
watch.
put it up. Text the word watch to 855-616-1620. You can see the Falcons. Allison from We Energies is with us. This is a great time of year, right? The eggs are laid. The excitement is there. What time of year do the eggs usually hatch?
We're getting close. Within the next 2-3 weeks, we should
Ooh.
start seeing the first chicks.
So the tagging process, how do we get that done without, the wildlife experts getting pecked?
Yeah, so we again, it's our peregrine falcon expert. Don't try this at home. He's done this for decades now, so he knows what he's doing. But he will actually go collect the chicks from the nest box, and then he'll bring them to another location away from the adult peregrines who are understandably upset that we've just kidnapped their babies. And then he will put little tags on their legs and then return them to the nest box. So hopefully for the baby falcons, it's just like a bad dream. They can go back to sleep and not realize what has happened.
They look like little snowmen, chick snowmen.
Oh my God, you can see the face of both of them now. Like they're both, I think they're making googly eyes at each other. Look, that must be the dude. He's like, hey,
Wow,
I'm
the
over
guy's
here.
a lot bigger.
And she's playing hard to get, it looks like. She's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, if you come near me, I'm going to fly off this ledge.
That's right. Don't make me fly off this edge. How long will so the babies hatch, how long will they stay there before they fly off on their own?
Yeah, it's about 6 weeks. So usually
Wow.
by like mid-June, they've learned how to fly. And it's pretty cool. In the weeks after we band them, you'll see them like practicing flapping their wings in the nest box. So they're stretching their muscles and learning how to do it. And
wow, that's
The dude just flew off. This was the most amazing thing. While I was watching, you could see him fly, and he like swooped down, and then he flew back into the camera. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
It's the Tom Cruise of birds.
They are. They're showing off. You're exactly right. Yeah, that guy did his own stunts. There's no doubt about that. Allison Truey, We Energies, such great stuff. Thank you for the updates. Thanks for making time for us.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Look at that. They're oh, no, she's interested now. Uh-huh. She's like, where'd he go?
Oh, she took off.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow,
I can't wait.
This is such cool stuff.
So exciting.
Yeah. It is 4:25 at WTMJ. How'd the markets do? Pretty good Friday. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow was up 619. The NASDAQ was up 337. The S&P was up 95 points on the day. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hi, I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. If you save for retirement in a 401k or IRA, let me ask you, do you know how much of that money is actually yours? Or will taxes take a bigger bite than you expected? Right now, taxes are historically low, but with growing national debt and government spending, do you think they'll really stay that way? Many retirees are shocked to realize the IRS might be one of the biggest expenses in retirement. Here's the good news. You do have options. Smart tax strategies can help you keep more of your hard-earned money instead of handing it over to Uncle Sam. At Drake & Associates, we help our clients create tax-efficient retirement income plans so they can enjoy their wealth instead of worrying about it running out. And here's the catch. These strategies work best when you plan ahead. That's why I'm offering you a free retirement toolkit and a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready, to help you understand how taxes could impact your retirement and what you can do about it. Text TAX to 414-897-9522 right now to claim your free copy while supplies last. The longer you wait, the fewer options you may have. Take control of your retirement today. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping you keep more of what you've earned.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
John Mercure here for Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. I drink a lot of water at home, and I live in Menomonee Falls, so I assume the water that's coming into our house was free of all contaminants. Guess what? Had the water tested. It had some contaminants in it. I know. It's city water. I've got Guthrie and Fry, though, now, so I've got the reverse osmosis system. It's really affordable, and it means that the water in our house is crisp, clean, clear. It's the real deal. It's the best water in the neighborhood. It's Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. Quality products and services at a fair price from a local company you can trust. They're right here in our neighborhood. Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice, my choice, is Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. Welcome to our Everyday Health feature, sponsored by the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Cancer treatment is complex and constantly evolving. Clinical trials provide more treatment options and opportunities to help fuel cancer treatment discovery. Here to tell us more is Dr. Samim Abedin, a medical oncologist. Why should people consider a clinical trial as part of treatment?
Trial should be considered because it may be the best possible treatment for you. Trials are occurring, see if there are safer ways to do treatments or if there are combinations that may be more effective than what currently exists. There may be scenarios where actually a patient has exhausted all standard treatment options. There are no treatments that remain that can treat the disease, so a trial may be appropriate in that situation. Lastly, a clinical trial is the only way that we have to test new treatments and to advance the field, find treatments that may be better in the future for patients overall. So participating in a trial helps contribute to better treatments for people in the future.
What if someone enrolls in a trial but then changes their mind about participating?
So clinical trial participation is completely optional and is completely in the control of the patient. If at any point upon signing a consent prior to receiving a treatment or after a treatment is received, there is a reason why a patient does not want to participate in a trial, they can withdraw at any time from the study.
Who pays the cost of the trial?
Most costs of a trial are paid by the trial sponsor, so the drug company supporting the study. There may be costs that are covered on your end by insurance, but the trial typically covers new drugs that are being investigated, any optional procedures that are done, and these are details to understand before enrolling into a trial as well.
Why choose the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network for treatment?
Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin gives an opportunity to discuss your disease with disease-specific experts who are up to date on the most advanced treatments available.
Dr. Abedin, thank you for being with us today. To find a doctor who's right for you, visit Froedtert.com/cancer. The Wisconsin State Fair. Big ticket savings now. Deal ends April 27th.
Big groups save big at Wisconsin State Fair. Take advantage of discounted group tickets for parties of 25 or more at wistatefair.com. Hurry, deals end April 27th.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure, your top story, trying to find a deal in Europe.
I'm Julia Fellow. It took a decade, but they finally got justice.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Got still this problem on 94 eastbound at Blue Mound Road. The two left lanes still blocked with this crash. Problems, delays all the way back past Highway 16, so just be prepared for a long, slow slog there. We do have a broken down vehicle on the airport spur, basically right at the end of the airport spur. The right lane is blocked on northbound Highway 38 or Howell Avenue, so just be careful with that. We've also got southbound 43, lots of company, very slow from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here tonight, a low of 35. Tomorrow, sunny and pleasant. A high of 62 inland, 57 degrees at the lake. Right now, it's mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 48 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, China has retaliated against President Trump's higher tariffs by raising its own tariffs on American goods to 125%. News Nation's Robert Sherman.
But across the Atlantic, China's President Xi Jinping on the move himself, meeting with Pedro Sanchez, the Prime Minister of Spain, and making an apparent attempt to court European partners. President Xi saying, quote, China and Europe should fulfill their international responsibilities, jointly uphold the trend of economic globalization and the international trade environment, and work together to oppose unilateral bullying.
White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt says more than 75 countries have contacted the president to negotiate individual deals.
Refusing to comply with a Supreme Court order to facilitate the return of a man wrongly deported to El Salvador.
A Maryland judge has again ordered the Department of Justice to provide details on the status of Kilmer Abrego Garcia, who was mistakenly sent on a flight carrying alleged gang members to a prison in El Salvador.
The government refused to provide any of those pieces of information.
His attorney, Simon Sandoval Moshenberg, is demanding answers.
They even refused to answer the question about what they've done so far, and they even refused to answer the question about where Kilmer Abrego Garcia is.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Justice for two brothers who were wrongfully fired.
Gregory and Jeffrey Cotto worked on the grounds crew for the Oconomowoc Area School District back in 2014. They were accused of stealing $5,000 from the district that should have gone to a scrap metal processor, but it took the district another year to get enough evidence against them. Once they did, the brothers were fired. They were never formally charged with theft or admitted guilt. The state's high court ruled in their favor, as the firing was a violation of the state's Fair Employment Act. Niger Spencer, WTMJ News.
Deep cuts could be coming to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
According to an internal document obtained by CBS News, the Trump administration is proposing cuts to NOAA's budget by nearly $1.7 billion, with significant reductions to education, grants, research, and climate-related programs. Right now, this is only a proposal, and it needs to be approved by Congress. The goal of the administration would be to refocus NOAA on weather forecasting, but experts say that's directly tied to climate research. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
If you suffer from seasonal allergies, prepare for symptoms year-round. Chief Health Policy Advisor from Milwaukee County, Dr. Ben Weston.
Tree pollen is the major culprit in early spring, like what we're seeing right now, March and April. As we get into late spring and summer, we start to see grass pollen. That usually peaks June to July. And then ragweed as we get into the fall, especially August to November, particularly here in the Midwest as well as on the East Coast.
And the doctor says being allergic in more than one season becomes very challenging to manage over the course of a year.
The Packers are traveling Wisconsin on their tailgate tour, and the team's president and CEO says Green Bay likely won't begin the 2025 season overseas. Mark Murphy telling Wisconsin's Morning News he doesn't believe the Pittsburgh Steelers game in Dublin, Ireland will feature the Packers.
The Steelers, they have been designated a home game in Dublin, and they can protect two games, and our fans travel so well, particularly to stadiums, cities like Philadelphia. I think they'll protect us as one of their two games that they can protect to make sure that it isn't played internationally.
The Packers have played two regular season games overseas, including last year's opener against the Eagles in Brazil.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. One more win, that's all the Bucks need to secure a number 5 position in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They have 2 chances to do that, both against the Pistons in regular season play. Tip-off is set for 6 o'clock tonight. The Brewers stay out west to start a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks in Arizona tonight. They're hoping for another winning series after finishing off the Rockies. Here tonight's game right here on WTMJ. Coverage begins at 8:05.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:36.
The time is now to update your home. Time to bring pride back into your place. Time to feel good about your property. Time to visit Siding Unlimited's showroom. Siding Unlimited is hosting their annual open house on Saturday, April 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Your time for hands-on experience operating our windows, investigating our siding, and seeing the complete roofing system designed for full protection. Stop by and open our doors to see how changing yours will upgrade your home. Stop by Siding Unlimited showroom or visit sidingunlimited.com to start your next project.
John Mercure here for Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. So you got a little twinge in your knee when you golf. Maybe that pickleball shoulder's bothering you a little bit. I've got the place to get it checked out. It's Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. I've checked out the hospital. I've got a shoulder issue. They're helping me work through it. They have the top doctors in the area, the highest patient satisfaction ratings. They're just really good people who really care, and they care for every part of the body. Request an appointment at OHOW.com. It's Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin, OHOW. Excellence Centers for hip, knee, and shoulder replacement, advanced diagnostics. They'll do the MRIs, the CTs. They'll take care of you and give you a full range of options. Request an appointment at OHOW.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
All right, happy Friday.
Yes.
Man, I'm ready for Friday this week. What a week it's been. Up and down goes the stock market. A mammoth comeback for the Bucks, a tragedy in the Hudson River, and more. It's a Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
A headline grabbed my attention here during the news break. Stocks gyrate wildly on third day of market mayhem.
Please keep your hands and arms inside the train.
Investors bracing for another sell-off on Wall Street.
We've gone from a record high in the stock market to a market that's down double digits.
What's going to happen with the market, I can't tell you. When the billionaires and the CEOs are worried about where the economy's going, the rest of us should be really worried.
I know what the hell I'm doing. These countries are calling us kissing my ass. Please, make a deal.
What we saw yesterday in the stock market was tremendous volatility.
Hopefully, the market's trying to approximate a bottom.
President Trump says this is a great time to buy on social media, and investors seem to agree.
First of all, it's a stunning reversal.
All-time record day, and hopefully it continues. I think it should.
Beijing announced a new round of retaliation to Trump's tariffs on them.
Trump has now increased tariffs on China from 104% to 125%.
He thinks it's a game. He almost thinks it's fun.
Gyrate wildly.
Condon secures it, and Florida found a way from 12 down to the school's third national championship in men's basketball.
Y todo ha terminado! Houston, you have a problem!
Houston, we have a problem.
The strange case of Justice Michael Gableman.
Gableman has agreed to surrender his law license.
It all started really, in our context, with the investigation, and air quoting that, into the 2020 election. Why was this allowed to happen?
This is what happens when you don't have character or backbone, and instead you get pressured by your so-called supporters.
Don't call it a comeback.
Corkscrews down the lane, sheds the defender, and sends it down on a ferocious one-hand slam. AJ fires up a transition three, and he drills it. The Bucks have officially re-entered the conversation. It's on the deck, picked up by Trent. Feeds it ahead. Porter's behind the pack. He stuffs it down. A monster come from behind win from Milwaukee. They come from 24 down. What a game.
The homicide case against Nikita Kasap took another step forward in Waukesha County Court.
The BMO Bank card was used at various gas stations from Iowa all the way through to Wyoming.
A former warden at Waupun Correctional agrees to plead to misconduct.
Alverson's 1-0 pitch is a fly ball deep center field, back to the track. Baseball, Christian Yelich. 17-2. The Brewers dominate the Rockies.
Boat race. Absolutely boat race.
We had a little bit of breaking news that I have just been told. Wisconsin Democrats chair, Ben Wickler, has stepped down.
He'll serve out the remainder of his term and then step down after a predecessor is named at the state party convention in June.
The man accused of impregnating and abducting a teen from Beaver Dam is waiving extradition.
40-year-old Gary Day is being held in Sarpy County, Nebraska after being found with 17-year-old Sophia Franklin last Thursday.
We are recognizing a law that includes victims more. It's called Marcy's Law. The 5th anniversary, Wisconsin has had this in effect. Jessica Strand, Director of Victim and Witness Services for the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office.
Victims now have the right to speak when requested at proceedings.
A growing line of grieving relatives, desperate for answers, gathering outside what's left of the Jet Set nightclub. A man points at the roof, saying something fell. Within seconds, the collapse and screams as the video goes dark.
All right, so this is confirmed. We got a helicopter in the water.
The helicopter went down closer to the New Jersey side of the Hudson River.
As I could see it from the Staten Island ferry, there were a lot of flashing lights on the river itself.
All 6 victims have been removed from the water.
What are we, gay?
Houston! Gyrate wildly.
It wasn't like moose.
Trash!
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
It's the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
A Brewers group outing is the best way to celebrate any special occasion. Whether it's a birthday party, anniversary, or bachelor party, baseball is better with a group. Grab your crew of just 15 or more for an event you won't forget. Brewers account reps make your day at the ballpark a breeze. Plus, get set up with customizable tailgate spaces, seating blocks in your favorite location at American Family Field, and much more. Start planning your group outing now at brewers.com/groups.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Not all financial advisors are created equal. That's the truth. Annex Wealth Management wants you to know the difference. At Annex, they're local, independent, and woven into the fabric of Southeast Wisconsin, and that's a big deal. Their teams for investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning, they're right here, not some far-off call center. Now's the moment to get real about your financial future. Get with Dave Spano and his team. Let them take care of you as you take the next step. Here's a gut check as your advisor, a fiduciary. How are they on tax planning? Can they nail your estate plan and ensure your legacy reflects your vision? These aren't just questions. They're the line between real guidance and a sales pitch. Annex meets you wherever you are. From Annex Comprehensive Wealth for the full picture, to Annex Private Client for complex needs, to Annex Ignite for a streamlined start. They've got it all. Hit up AnnexWealth.com and click that Get Started button. We did that years ago. Book your appointment today. Locations throughout Southeast Wisconsin, Northern Illinois, are always as close as your computer. The teams I trust from beginning to end are at Annex. Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala. Nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake? Or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. We talk all the time about Tri-County Contracting, the place to go for roofs and siding, but don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also does windows. Need a new front entry door? Tri-County Contracting. Or maybe a patio door that's always jammed. Get your free estimates today. They've been helping homeowners like you for 46 years. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, oh yeah, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield makes vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
Traffic and weather. Debbie Lossiga, how are the roads looking?
Still a bit backed up. We did have that earlier accident at Blue Mound Road on 94 eastbound. That has been cleared. However, the delays are pretty serious all the way back onto Highway 16. So just be careful with that. Then we've got southbound 41 slowing down from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Southbound 43 is going to be backed up from Capitol all the way down through the Marquette to the KK River. Northbound slowing down from Fond du Lac up to Keith. Westbound 94, you got backups from 20th Street out to Mitchell Boulevard, eastbound right through the Stadium interchange to 35th Street. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Clear tonight, the low will be 34 degrees. Frosty. Sunny tomorrow, 60 inland, 54 at the lake will be your high. A chance of showers Sunday, 64 degrees inland, 56 at the lake. Chance of showers Monday morning. The high will be 59. Breezy Tuesday with a high of 48 degrees. Right now it's sunny in Milwaukee and 48 degrees.
Julia, the Port Washington Peregrine Falcon is back.
Oh,
and she's at a way where she's facing the camera. She is gorgeous.
Oh, I hope they have babies.
Yeah, I hope so too. It'll be fun to watch those little eggs right there in the nest box. Hey, we're excited to be joined by our friend, the plant doctor. She is Melinda Myers, who's with us in the studio. The website is melindamyers.com. Melinda, how are you?
Hey, it's sunny outside. It's above freezing.
Yes.
A few things are blooming, so spring is on its way.
Yeah, even in Door County, I saw some little sprouts.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's a good day with the sunshine. Let's start with that because we wanted to ask you about that. One of the things we wanted to ask you about, the stuff that's poking through right now, mine started to poke through a couple of weeks ago. I think daffodils and tulips. I can't tell for sure. And then it got really cold. There was actually a day where there was a rain-snow mix. Is there a problem with that if I'm the daffodil or the tulip?
You know, the worst that could happen is you may lose some blooms, but I've seen tulips in 15 degrees blooming, and then it warmed up and they survived. And
wow.
They're pretty adaptable. You know, we always hope that this isn't going to happen, but I'm always amazed what really survives. When I lived in Milwaukee, I had daffodils right by my neighbor's house, and they'd always come up early. And probably about 3 out of the 5 years I'd get blooms. The other 2 would get a hard frost and would kill the buds as they were swelling. So I was like, that's okay. 3 out of 5, I'll take it.
Meteorologist Brian Osnansky was saying just the other day this week that a lot of the plants that are sprouting right now are one of the hardiest ones that are really strong.
Exactly. So they've really been well adapted. What we worry about is if our fruit trees flower. You remember we've had a few spring frosts where the apple growers were really struggling because they were blooming, and that's when they're really sensitive. But I have peaches on a hill in my house, and they actually had bloomed, and it was 17 degrees, and I was like, well, that's done.
Yep.
And I did get peaches that year. So
I had that happen with my peach tree, too. I think I actually asked you about it.
Right.
And
so we lucked out.
And they did bloom that year, so you never know, right?
Exactly. So it's one of those things I've been telling people to start taking notes. This crazy weather that we're experiencing year-round, we just got to find out which plants are doing well, which ones do we, if they die, maybe we don't replace them with the same thing.
Mother Nature has a way of just working it all out.
Exactly.
Hey, let's talk about something that people can control, and that's planting containers in the sun and in the shade. A lot of people want to do this, but don't know where to get started. How do we get started if you want to create a container garden?
If you see me shopping at a garden center, I'll have a cart, and I go down the aisle with all the cool vertical accents. Oh, I haven't grown that, or this is a favorite. I put that on the cart. Then I take my cart to the trailer, where the things are going to spill over the edge of the pot. Well, that would look good together. And then I look for things to go in between. And I have to confess, sometimes I'll make a few containers on the go. I come home and I start planting, and I'm like, oh, I got an extra plant here, and there's 2 here. What was that plan? So I go back and shop some more. So, it's okay because you figure it out. In some years, the mixes are really great, and you're like, look what I did. And some years, you put them in the back of the collection and just don't share them with your friends.
I love the big pots. That's my favorite.
I do, too.
Yeah. So to make sure that they thrive, what do I need to do?
Well, a couple
Besides
things.
put a worm in it and stuff like that?
She's got some interesting planters. Drainage holes, or for those really big pots, I like to use a false bottom. I buy ups of daisies, but you could just put all that stuff in the bottom, some landscape fabric so the soil, the potting mix doesn't filter down. You want a good 12 inches in those big pots or more, but it can get heavy and expensive. And then, so drainage is important, a good quality potting mix. And everyone has a different idea of what that is. What's a good one? We all have our favorites based on how we water, how we take care of things. I like to use wool pellets, Wild Valley wool pellets. They help create airspace. They hold the moisture, so you water up to 20% less often. You all know that I'm a fan of Milorganite, and so I put it in my potting mix when I plant. Sometimes I don't have to fertilize again. And if I've put a lot of plants in, or we get a lot of hot weather and I'm watering, then I do a midsummer. And then pick plants for the growing conditions. And that's why we decided to do a sun shade webinar, because so many people are like, well, I have shade, I can't garden. Yes, you can. It's the plants you pick. And your plant tags really tell you a lot. Is this going to take full or part sun? Then you can put it in a east, west, or even a south location. You just may have to water more often in those really hot areas. Zinnias and celosia or coxcomb, angelonias, they've come a long way. Lantana, those are good, many of them for pollinators, as well as taking the heat and the drought in the full sun.
And begonias are good too.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
They're beautiful too.
And then in the shade, your begonias, your impatiens, your shade coleus are great. Browalias, one we don't think of often, and I'm seeing more of those in the garden center. And then some of those big elephant ears. And they just give you that tropical feel, perfect for your big containers, right? And some caladiums to dress up the ankles works very well.
So one of the things we do is on our deck, we always have a lot of stuff out there in big pots. Some of them are so big that I have to use a little hand cart to bring them into the house.
It's like a little garden.
Yeah,
It is.
and then I bring them in. Like we have a lime and we have a lemon and we have some other stuff. Can houseplants be added to containers?
Yes, and they've been coming down in price. I see a lot of people using palms for that big vertical accent. Bananas, we think of as outdoor plants. I have one in my shop overwintering, waiting to get back outside.
Oh.
And also ferns. They do
Does a banana
much
plant
better.
grow bananas?
Not
Or it's just called a banana
usually.
plant?
It's a banana. It's if we were in a different climate, you would get
Okay.
some, but these are more ornamental. Though there is a fiber banana, Hardy to Zone 5, and I've been seeing it for sale. So if you're in closer to the lake, you probably have no problem.
Okay.
I think I might try one out in my neck of the woods, and I'll let you know.
Yeah,
if
that
it
sounds really
survives.
fun.
How often should I water them?
Great question. I'm a believer that your finger is your best moisture meter initially. Reach down when the first couple inches are crumbly and just starting to dry. Good time to water thoroughly. And then you'll get to know your plants, right? They kind of get that funky, kind of off green, kind of a gray green. They're not wilted yet, but you're like, okay, it's time to water. If they wilt, then yes, you definitely want to water. Except midday, some plants wilt just to conserve moisture. So morning is a good time to check. But there have been times I've watered midday because that's when I had time and the plants really needed it. Thorough and that we're going to get those good deep roots forming as well.
I wanted to ask you about fertilizing too, especially like for me, I plant a lot of annuals in pots on the deck, and I'm impatient, so I want them to get big fast. So can I fertilize them every couple of weeks early in the season? Is that too much? How often should we fertilize?
That's a great question. So one of the things I'm a low input person, so that's why I use the Milorganite, slow release, low nitrogen, and I have great success. But I don't pack my plants full, and it sounds like I'm a little more patient than you.
You are.
And so, one of the things that you can do if you really got a lot of plants and you want a lot of growth, if you use the liquid fertilizers, follow the label directions. I usually say start out at half the rate because you can always add more. Their goal is to sell you fertilizer, so they're giving you the maximum amount. I don't do well with the liquids just because, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do it next week.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's a month later and my plants show.
That's a lot of work.
So, yes, the slow release are for those of us that are good at low maintenance. And those that want to push it a little bit, you can kind of, push that fertilization a little more.
So you have a webinar coming up or do you have it coming up? Yeah, I think you do. On May 7th on vertical gardening.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about some things you can do in containers as well, growing things on trellises and pots, but also in ground. So really providing some shade for your air conditioner, the sides of your house to help reduce energy costs, privacy. If you've got a balcony or just a patio, and even if you live in an urban or suburban area, sometimes there are views you don't want to look at and some you don't want people seeing. And so vertical gardens are a great way to do it. So we'll talk growing vines. We'll talk about pots that you could support. My weekend project is creating a pallet planter with pots on the outside. So we'll see how that goes. And old jeans, making them into containers mounted on a post. So
that's
just
fun.
trying to recycle some items that. So we'll see how that goes.
That's
better
a great
go well.
idea.
It's going to be the video for the month too.
Oh, that's so fun. So to
Yeah.
check out the videos and all sorts of good stuff, including the topic on how to create your own outdoor paradise, go to melindamyers.com. The webinar schedule is there. Free webinars coming up in April, May, and June. Melinda Myers, that's MYERS, melindamyers.com. She's the plant doctor. Always fun to have you here. Thanks, Melinda.
Thank you, guys.
It is 4:55 at WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The owner of Pizzeria Scotti in West Dallas plans to open a second pizzeria in the city. The new Trevino's Pizza, opening on May 1st, will take the space previously occupied by Pepe's Pizza on South 70th Street. Construction begins in August on the conversion of vacant office space in the downtown Mitchell building into 60 market-rate apartments. The estimated $20 million project is the latest office-to-apartment conversion for J. Jeffers & Company. Stanek Tool LLC of New Berlin files for receivership in Waukesha County Circuit Court. The company said it will continue operations while a receiver seeks a buyer for the business. I'm Linda Spice with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Business Report sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
For over 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has been delighting guests with impeccable service and extraordinary events. This spring, come together and celebrate with loved ones in the hotel's newly renovated Grand Ballroom. Experience the time-honored tradition of Easter brunch at the Pfister with delicious food, fun activities, and a special visit from the Easter Bunny. Or show your appreciation and create fond memories with a sensational Mother's Day brunch. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
I love Bell and Baxter. They're good dogs. They're kind dogs. They listen better than they ever did, thanks to Sit Means Sit dog training. Sit Means Sit just taught me how to be a better dog. I now know what I need to do so they do what they're supposed to do. It's Sit Means Sit dog training. Matt, the owner, is a fantastic guy, and here's what he'll do for you. He'll let you come in for a free consultation. Sit means sit. You start with a free consultation. You check out the process. You meet Matt or his trainers. It's Sit means sit dog training. You too can have a happy, confident, obedient dog. I know. I'm a customer. It's Sit means sit dog training.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike at the nation's largest bike sale. I'm Amelia Kegel with Wheel and Sprocket, and our Bike Expo sale is back at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds this weekend inside the Expo building. Electric bikes, road bikes, cargo bikes, mountain bikes, kid bikes, hybrid bikes, all on display and ready to ride. So whether you're seeking health and wellness, adventure and fun, or just a new hobby, the path to your new journey leads to the Bike Expo sale. And remember, all of our bikes come with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, which means you can ride it for 30 days. And if you don't love it, we'll refund your money.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike. Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 5 inside the Expo Center. Visit bikeexposale.com for details. Admission is free.
Life is short. We'll see you at the Bike Expo.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
Steel walk-behind, zero-turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel. Let's go mow.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. Come in and make that deal. Visit Heiser Automotive Group with 4 convenient locations or online at Heiser.com. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Today's your day.
The season has only just begun, and the crew are already back in the desert.
Is a fly ball deep center field, back to the track. Bye-bye baseball, Christian Yelich.
Our Brewers Diamondbacks coverage starts tonight at 8:05 on your home for the Milwaukee Brewers, 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, preliminary data from a deadly helicopter crash.
I'm Julia Fellow, confirming more cases of measles.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Slow speeds on 41 southbound from before Appleton Avenue all the way down to about Capitol Drive. And then more delays from Greenfield Avenue down past National. There is a crash on the northbound side of 894 at National Avenue, off on the right shoulder. Southbound 43 is backing up from Capitol down through the Marquette to the KK River. Northbound is heavy from Kilbourne all the way up to about Keefe. And then we've got delays eastbound 94 from Highway 16 all the way to about Springdale, and then back on the brakes from just before 84th Street to 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear skies, a low of 35. Tomorrow, sunny and pleasant, a high of 62 inland, a little cooler along the lake. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, it's too early to determine the cause of the Hudson River helicopter crash that killed 6 people, including 3 children. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza.
They really went over a good amount of details, but there's still a lot to figure out. This crash happening yesterday before 3 p.m., so it's barely been 24 hours. They wanted to make sure a few things clear here, that yesterday was really about recovery, victim recovery, obviously recovery of the helicopter and all of the parts there. And then towards the evening, towards later into the night, the NTSB began their investigation. And this is the first full day of the NTSB's investigation.
A person familiar with the investigation says that preliminarily it appears a rotor may have broken off.
An immigration judge rules the Trump administration can deport a Columbia University student who took part in pro-Palestinian demonstrations.
The judge in Louisiana says the administration's argument is facially reasonable that Mahmoud Khalil poses adverse foreign policy consequences for the U.S. Khalil is a former graduate student and was detained by federal immigration agents on March 8th in New York after he took part in on-campus demonstrations. He was transferred to an immigration detention center in Louisiana. Khalil is a legal U.S. resident and could be deported to Syria or Algeria. His lawyers have until April 23rd to appeal. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
There are now over 700 confirmed measles cases across 24 states, according to newly released CDC data.
Texas is now reporting over 540 cases of measles, an increase of over 30 since Tuesday, with over 50 patients in hospitals. All except 10 cases are unvaccinated or have unknown vaccination status. 2 unvaccinated school-age children in Texas with no other medical issues have died.
There are no confirmed cases so far in Wisconsin.
A major expansion coming for bicyclists.
The Bubbler bike system will add more than 500 electric bikes and 800 new individual docks in 2025. This will be the network's largest expansion in its history, thanks in part to an increase in federal funding for the bike network. It also helps Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson reach his goal of having 50 miles of protected bike lanes under development by 2026. Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
Coming up, check those toys on your strollers.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:03.
Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Okay. No drafts. Got it. There's more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 4/30/2025.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Market shifts, economic uncertainty, and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. No doubt, standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil, and we're totally on board with that. But retirement planning isn't a set-it-and-forget-it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized financial, retirement, estate, and tax plans that adapt as needed and put your goals first always. Already with another firm, but getting the feeling you're lost in the shuffle or they just can't keep up? A second opinion could be the smartest move you could make. If you're managing it yourself, we'll fill in the gaps with professional precision. You work hard to build your future. Don't leave it to chance. Put a pro on your side. Get a proactive plan from a fee-only fiduciary. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:06.
A major recall for a stroller toy from Fisher-Price.
The recall involves more than 250,000 Brunch and Go stroller toys made by Fisher-Price. The Consumer Product Safety Commission and the company say the stroller toys and components may pose a choking hazard. Fisher-Price says it's received 5 reports of the toy egg cracking and breaking, with 2 reports of an infant putting a small piece into their mouths. The company says so far there have been no reports of injuries. Michelle Franson, ABC News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the One Call That's All Sports Desk. Justin Rose leads at the Masters, shooting a 71. He's one shot ahead of Bryson DeChambeau. Rory McIlroy, recovering from yesterday's bad round, was bogey-free today. He is just 2 shots behind. Scottie Scheffler, back in the hunt, is also 2 shots off the pace. Only 2 games remain on the Bucks' regular season schedule. Both are against the Detroit Pistons. And after taking 2 of 3 against the Rockies, the Brewers begin a 3-game set against the Diamondbacks tonight in Arizona. You can hear tonight's game on WTMJ. Coverage begins at 8:05.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:07.
Tax tips are brought to you by the Neal Group. For less stress with the IRS, visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL Group.net for a free consultation.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. Tax tip number 7. Did you know a limited liability company, or LLC, can file a tax return 4 different ways? Many businesses form an LLC to separate the business from them personally for legal purposes to avoid liability. But figuring out the best way to file taxes can require some advice from a tax professional. LLCs can file using Form 1040 on Schedule C. LLCs can file as an S corporation or a C corporation using Form 1120S or 1120. LLCs can file as a partnership using Form 1065. There are usually other forms that need to be filed with the IRS before filing as a corporation or a partnership. Other questions surround the LLC designation, too. Can an LLC own another LLC? Yes. Does rental property need to have its own LLC? Maybe, maybe not. There are other reasons to form an LLC, but be sure to know your circumstances before electing which form to file. For more information on this tip and other tax tips, go to nealgroup.net or stop in and see us.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at Right Choice Tax Resolution. The IRS has you in their crosshairs. We are local and know how to deal with the IRS and state to solve your situation. Just the other week, we successfully removed the target on Nick to get $194,358 of taxes and penalties removed. This is why John Neal started Right Choice Tax Resolution, to help people fight the IRS and state. You don't know the ins and outs of all the taxes they can charge you or the more than 150 penalties they can impose on you. Make the right choice and call us at 844-222-1192. We want to help so your bank account doesn't get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security garnished, or a lien put on your house. Get rid of that stress and get back to enjoying life. Call us at 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us right now to book a meeting. We understand how stressful this can be. The situation won't go away if you do nothing. That's 844-222-1192 or rightchoicetax.us.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right, happy Friday. Glad that you are with us. That time of year where severe weather can pop up at any moment, and being behind the wheel can feel particularly vulnerable. During Severe Weather Awareness Week, Debbie Lazaga checks out what to do if you're in your vehicle.
We've all been there, cruising down the road when suddenly the skies darken ominously, the winds pick up, and the rain starts coming down in sheets. Wisconsin weather can change in an instant, and being caught behind the wheel during severe conditions can be a bit freaky. So what's the first thing we should do to stay safe when Mother Nature throws a curveball? Wisconsin Emergency Management's Katie Rusinellos.
To stay safe while you're driving, the key thing is to reduce your speed. So you want to slow down, especially on those wet roads when we get into those heavy rains.
After all it takes is a few inches of fast-moving water to make your vehicle lose contact with the pavement, and away you go. Not to mention the fact that you don't know what's going on underneath the water. That pavement could actually be washed away. Along with the rain coming down, you may face increased winds. High-profile vehicles like semis have to be especially careful. Start off by having both hands on the wheel to stay in control, but prep is important.
Pretty much pay attention to the weather, because a lot of it is, it's hard to pay attention where you're driving, but one of the good things is if you have wireless emergency alerts enabled on your phone, what happens is a cell phone tower will ping based on your location, and you'll get that tornado warning information And by then you want to be proactive and not reactive. So start thinking about, where can I safely pull over until the system passes?
Ever wonder what to do about lightning?
Ironically, being in a car is actually safe for you. It's not safe being outside, because you're inside that location, you have those rubber tires, so it is a safe location for you to be. But if you feel unsafe while driving, pull over and find a safe location for you to go. Don't hide under a tree. Get to a building as fast as you can. Don't think, oh, picnic shelter or even a dugout. That might not be the safest place in a thunderstorm. So think about, if you see a flash of lightning or if you hear thunder, the safest place to go is indoors or inside a car.
And then there's the big dog, the tornado. Contrary to what you see in the movies, they are not very predictable and they can be super dangerous.
The key thing is to not outrun a tornado. Don't seek shelter underneath an overpass because the winds are stronger underneath.
You want to try and find a sturdy shelter that you can get into. Obviously, that's preferable, but if you don't find shelter and you're stuck,
pull over and park your vehicle, stay inside of it, put your head below the windows and cover your head with your hands. If you have a blanket nearby, that's even better to cover your head with.
Considerably safer than just laying down in a ditch and hoping for the best. Don't underestimate the power of debris flying around at 150 miles an hour. A 2x4 can be deadly. Oh, and fight the urge to chase the storm. I know it's mesmerizing, but leave it to the professionals. They've studied the storms. They have a better idea of when to call off a chase. There are plenty of videos out on the internet, too, from chasers that you can watch from the comfort and safety of your own couch. Yep, the old adage, if you don't like Wisconsin weather, just wait 5 minutes, is true. With such volatile weather possible, it pays to keep your head on a swivel, your eye on the weather reports, and your wits about you to stay safe. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
All right, there you go. Some pretty good advice in that piece. It is 5:13 at WTMJ. Debbie helps get you home. Traffic up next.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
Hey, right now envision what you want the curb appeal at your house to look like. You want it to be fantastic? Mine's going to look great this spring because Landworks Wisconsin came out and did a bunch of work. They're super affordable. They're really efficient. One team with you from beginning to end. For us, they planted some new stuff. They moved things around, put in some pavers, added lighting. They do the whole thing. They do all of that. Big project, small project. Landworks Wisconsin does every project and does it the right way. I love that single point of contact from the initial design all the way through the work. They're amazing work. One person handles it, one person for you to deal with. Big project, small project, they'll do your project and do it right. They did for us. It's commercial, it's residential, it's Landworks, Wisconsin.
A Brewers Group outing is the best way to celebrate any special occasion. Whether it's a birthday party, anniversary, or bachelor party, baseball is better with the group. Grab your crew of just 15 or more for an event you won't forget. Brewers account reps make your day at the ballpark a breeze. Plus, get set up with customizable tailgate spaces, seating blocks in your favorite location at American Family Field, and much more. Start planning your group outing now at brewers.com/groups.
Not so fun fact, a recent study showed that only 40% of managers have annual check-ins with their direct reports. Not good, especially when today's younger workers crave development and growth. But the LAK Group has a new tool called Coaching on Demand. This cutting-edge platform connects leaders and professionals with certified coaches and seamlessly integrates AI into their development journey, all on their schedule. Learn more at transformingcareers.com. LAK, discover your human advantage.
Traffic is sponsored by Lynch McQuanago. The place you want to go. Lynch McQuanago.
Chevrolets, Fords, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams. All in one location. The place you want to go. Lynch McQuanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Loziga. Hey there.
Hey there. We still have some big delays on northbound 43 coming up from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way to Keefe. Southbound, it's doing a little bit more manageable. We've got delays from North Avenue down through the Marquette to the KK River. Westbound 94 slowing from 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side got backups from just before Highway 164 all the way past Barker Road. Back on the brakes from the Zoo interchange all the way to about 27th. And then on southbound 41, backing up from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
All right, the WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, clear skies, a low of 34. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 60. On Sunday, little cloudy, a high of 64. On Monday, breezy 59. On Tuesday, partly cloudy 48. It's currently 48 degrees.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast is sponsored by Dave Dracamp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDracamp.com.
An update on the MPS lead crisis. WTMJ Sean Brinda is with us in the studio. All right, Sean, update us.
Yeah, John, Julia. Parents, as well as Milwaukee Public Schools and Milwaukee Health Department officials, met online Thursday night to address concerns involving the lead dust remediation efforts happening in the district. At this time, 3 schools have been closed for 4 weeks, including Fernwood Montessori, Starnes Early Childhood Learning Center, and La Follette School. Some parents were overly concerned of lead being located not just in school buildings, but near and around school grounds.
I would like the following information. How many schools has the Milwaukee Health Department assessed visually? Has MPS visually assessed any additional schools, and with what training? How many schools have been identified as containing hazards based on these visual assessments? How many schools have lead levels in water that exceed 1 part per billion, the threshold set by the American Academy of Pediatrics? How many schools have any reportable levels of lead dust consistent with the new EPA rule? How many schools have lead in the soil that exceed 200 micrograms per square foot? Also a new EPA rule. We don't need an administrator being dismissive about a health crisis. We need the data.
Milwaukee Health Commissioner Dr. Michael Todorias did his best addressing those concerns right away.
We've been in 17 schools in partnership with some of our partners at the state and, have taken the corrective action that we needed to so far. As I've mentioned before, if we need to close additional schools, we will make those decisions with the district.
One issue that parents asked when it came to cleaning and remediating those schools, though, of the lead dust cleanup was the cost to district taxpayers. District Superintendent Dr. Brenda Cassellius told parents that the district would be picking up the costs for the cleaning operations.
The district budgets will take care of this lead remediation. Hoping to find other revenues and talk to state leaders, et cetera. So continue to try to find, but it will not be the responsibility of the school for this lead remediation. Obviously, the pot is only so big. In the future, we plan on decentralizing these facility budgets in order to be able to better create equity and attention where work orders are happening so that we can be sure that they're filled and completed based on their importance and need.
MPS and MHD are still putting together a final draft on how to address its district-wide lead cleanup plans and guidelines, but both organizations say that they will update parents and the public whenever there are any new developments with the cleanups and when schools are opened once again.
Good updates. He's on top of it. WTMJ Sean Brinda. Thank you, Sean. 519 at WTMJ.
There's only one store that gives you every possible choice in diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
It's our lowest prices of the season, in-store and online at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, shop the season's best values on supplies to make projects your own. Like Livingston vegetable and flower seeds, 25% off MSRP. Save $60 on select Whirlpool water softeners, plus free hard water testing. 20% off Kidde smoke and fire detection products. And Blaster automotive catalyst spray, $4.69 a can. Don't miss our lowest prices of the season, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Loyal Family Renovations does things the right way every day. They do outdoor work. They do roofing. They're doing a roof for me. As a matter of fact, they're dropping off the materials on Monday. I am really excited to get this thing going. One of the things they're great at Loyal Family Renovations is they'll help you with the insurance part of it. Dealing with an insurance adjuster can be difficult. My roof, gutters, downspouts, even the skylights are being replaced because of hail damage. Loyal Family helped me get it done. They've got the best people in the business. They're thorough. They're polite. They're a local husband-wife team, Loyal Family Renovations. The name sends it all. Loyal Family Renovations. Check them out at loyalfamilyrenovations.com. Welcome to our Everyday Health feature, sponsored by the Fredericton and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Cancer treatment is complex and constantly evolving. Clinical trials provide more treatment options and opportunities to help fuel cancer treatment discovery. Here to tell us more is Dr. Samim Abedin, a medical oncologist. Why should people consider a clinical trial as part of treatment?
Trial should be considered because it may be the best possible treatment for you. Trials are occurring, see if there are safer ways to do treatments or if there are combinations that may be more effective than what currently exists. There may be scenarios where actually a patient has exhausted all standard treatment options. There are no treatments that remain that can treat the disease, so a trial may be appropriate in that situation. Lastly, a clinical trial is the only way that we have to test new treatments and to advance the field, find treatments that may be better in the future for patients overall. So participating in a trial helps contribute to better treatments for people in the future.
What if someone enrolls in a trial but then changes their mind about participating?
So clinical trial participation is completely optional and is completely in the control of the patient. If at any point upon signing a consent prior to receiving a treatment or after a treatment is received, there is a reason why a patient does not want to participate in a trial, they can withdraw at any time from the study.
Who pays the cost of the trial?
Most costs of a trial are paid by the trial sponsor, so the drug company supporting the study. There may be costs that are covered on your end by insurance, but the trial typically covers new drugs that are being investigated, any optional procedures that are done, and these are details to understand before enrolling into a trial as well.
Why choose the Froedtert to the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network for treatment?
Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin gives an opportunity to discuss your disease with disease-specific experts who are up to date on the most advanced treatments available.
Dr. Abedin, thank you for being with us today. To find a doctor who's right for you, visit Froedtert.com/cancer.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
All right. I love Fridays. On Fridays, we do a little segment. Some stories maybe you haven't heard about. This is what we call it.
In case you missed it.
All right, I'll go first quickly. This is from Wellington, New Zealand.
Hello.
An Australian woman unknowingly gave birth to a stranger's baby. She went through IVF, and here's what happened. She went through IVF, she gave birth to the baby, and she's like, yeah, this doesn't seem quite right. She went to the lab, and she discovered that her and her neighbor had been going to the same lab, coincidentally. Her neighbor had one less embryo frozen than they were supposed to. They did some research and found out that the other neighbor had been given her friend's embryo. You know why they realized there was a mistake? Listen to this, you guys. The baby was born to the couple, and the baby and the sperm donor are both white. The baby born was black.
There you go.
This is like a movie nightmare. Can you imagine you're in the waiting room and that happens? Oh, my God.
Don't they have checks and balances or something for that?
There should be, Deb, but there wasn't apparently, and she actually gave the baby back to the mother whose egg it was, who lives next door to her. This is insanity.
In case you missed it.
I'd be so attached to that baby.
I know. That'd be hard.
You may have missed this executive order the president signed this week. White House staff secretary announced the order before the president and media in the Oval Office. Take a listen.
It's an executive order. The Biden administration launched what you've called a war on showers. They had certain regulations that basically killed the water pressure of showers. And
water. It's ridiculous. In my case, I like to take a nice shower to take care of my beautiful hair. I have to stand under the shower for 15 minutes till it gets wet. It comes out drip, drip, drip. It's ridiculous.
Really quickly, he also touted how he already signed an executive order to get rid of forced use of paper straws. Remember, the president said they don't work, they break. Remember, he says they explode.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. On occasion, they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds.
His administration's always laughing.
Yeah.
You know that he's, putting it on a little bit.
The rest of the world's also laughing.
In case you missed it.
Well, this one's a story for our friend Rose Gray, who happens to be in the Galapagos right now. A pair of critically endangered Galapagos tortoises have had babies. There's the first-time parents. Guess how old they are?
How old?
100 years old. First-time parents.
Wow.
At the Philadelphia Zoo. That's right. They announced on Friday the zoo is overjoyed at the arrivals of the 4 hatchlings, a first in its more than 150-year history of the zoo.
Wow.
The babies are the offspring of the female Mummy and the male Abrazo, the zoo's 2 oldest residents. They say that the quartet, the 4 babies, are eating and growing appropriately. Right now they weigh around 70 to 80 grams, about the weight of a chicken egg. And there are even more that they are still waiting that could possibly hatch. They're being monitored right now. So this is a big... the mom, arrived at the zoo in 1932.
My goodness.
She's just having her first baby. So, congratulations to Mommy Nabraco.
In case you missed
I'm still climbing on top of Michelle when I'm 100. Somebody pinch me.
Yeah, or have a baby at 100.
She's going to have a heart attack. All right, what do you got?
Okay, so in the past week, movie theaters have been packed with audiences attending showings of a Minecraft movie. At first glance, most people would shrug it off, but the film has generated an almost spoof-like acclaim. The movie itself is based off of the world-hit video game Minecraft, but one particular scene has fans cheering, whooping, and even throwing popcorn. Jason Momoa's Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison enters a boxing ring to fight a Minecraft-style chicken. The hatch then opens from above. Out drops a zombie who then rides the chicken into battle, with Jack Black's Steve casually calling out "Chicken Jockey." The quote "chicken jockey" is reference to a small percentage of the block-shaped zombies within the Minecraft game that will ride a chicken, thereby becoming, quote, chicken jockeys. The quote in the film has led moviegoers to throwing popcorn, standing with applause, and even one moviegoer to actually bring an actual chicken into the movie theater to be part of the action. So movie theaters have been asking patrons to stop, as it has led to large messes for staff to clean up, and police have been called in to escort perpetrators out of the theaters. Is a Minecraft movie this generation's Rocky Horror Picture Show? Who's to say? But the enthusiasm of fans brings fun to the theaters.
In case you missed it.
It is 5:28 at WTMJ. Let's check out the markets. The Annex Wealth Management market update. Everything in the green today on this Friday. The Dow is up 619. The NASDAQ up 337. The S&P was up 95 points. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses, and those of us who live here. Sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining us today, Jeff Salazinski, Vice President of Insurance Operations. Well, last few months, we have had a lot of newsworthy events with an insurance angle kind of to each of them. The stream of events should remind all of us the importance of properly designed insurance programs. Jeff, tell us what you're seeing.
Thanks, Vince. Great to be here. Yes, 2025 is already off to an ominous start. A cyber data breach impacting over 60 million students and teachers, with dozens of Wisconsin districts impacted. Natural catastrophes continue to increase in both frequency and severity of damages. Although Wisconsin fared better than many states, this is no time to be complacent.
So, Jeff, why is that important to people who are listening right now?
Vince, while these events are destructive and expensive, they can be insured against quite easily. When these issues are ignored or handled improperly, they can change your life, drain your resources, maybe destroy your business. Quite simply, a properly designed insurance program has never been more relevant nor more important than today. If you're not getting good guidance from your insurance provider and they're uninformed on these issues, you're jeopardizing your assets, your business, and maybe your future.
A lot of options for insurance out there, Jeff. Why should families or businesses work with R&R Insurance?
Thanks, Vince. We deliver thought leadership around asset protection. It's what we do best. We inform you of where the market opportunities are today. We work with you to best position your account or your company for review by an underwriter. And R&R can get multiple companies competing for your account. It'll cost you nothing to sit down with R&R Insurance. If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, we'd love to sit down and speak with you. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Rich Lawns Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlawns.com when you're due for service.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, another deadly plane crash, this time in Florida.
I'm Julia Fellow, supporting young scholars outside of school.
I'm Debbie Loziga, northbound 894, right about at National Avenue. Looks like we've got a crash. It is off on the right shoulder, so be careful with that. We've got southbound 41 backing up right now from just south of Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Eastbound delays still sticking around from Highway 164 all the way past Barker. Back on the brakes from the Zoo interchange to 35th Street. The westbound side, you got some backups from about 20th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Then on northbound 43, backing up from Fond du Lac to Keefe. Southbound's just slowing down from Fond du Lac down to the KK River crossing. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Mostly clear tonight, frosty. A low of 34. Tomorrow, sunny and pleasant. 60 inland, 56 at the lake. Right now, it's sunny and 48 degrees in Milwaukee.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, officials say it's still too early to determine the cause of the Hudson River helicopter crash that killed 6 people, including 3 children. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza.
They really went over a good amount of details, but there's still a lot to figure out. This crash happening yesterday before 3 p.m., so it's barely been 24 hours. They wanted to make sure a few things clear here, that yesterday was really about recovery, victim recovery, obviously recovery of the helicopter and all of the parts there. And then towards the evening, towards later into the night, the NTSB began their investigation. And this is the first full day of the NTSB's investigation.
A person familiar says preliminarily it appears a rotor may have broken off.
A small plane crashed in Boca Raton, Florida this morning, killing everyone on board and injuring a man on the ground. Michael LaSalle is the assistant fire chief for Boca Fire Rescue.
3 on the plane, 3 souls on board, and we can confirm those were all fatalities. One gentleman on the ground he hit a tree because of all the debris and the fire.
The Cessna plane crashed less than 20 minutes in the air.
Still a lot of uncertainty after the Supreme Court said the Trump administration had to facilitate the return of a man mistakenly deported to El Salvador.
During a tense hearing in Maryland, the judge tried to find out what steps the administration is taking to bring Kilmer Abrego Garcia home. But according to his attorney, the Justice Department gave them nothing.
For the second time in this case, they sent a lawyer into court who had no answers.
Simon Sandoval Moschenberg argued,
It's been more than 12 hours since the Supreme Court lifted the stay. What has the government done so far to try to bring him back?
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
City Year Milwaukee has helped MPS students strive and thrive for 15 years. The executive director tells Wisconsin's Midday News how the program trains young adults 17 years old to 25 years old to help students learn and become leaders.
Over the years, our Corps members have also gotten younger. And so they have a variety of interests that could lead to college, but it's also leading into careers. And so as an organization, our mission is twofold. Not only are we focused on supporting scholars inside of schools, we're working to develop the next generation of leaders for this community.
To celebrate their anniversary, City Year Milwaukee will light the Hone Bridge May 9th.
Construction is moving quickly ahead of the NFL draft in Green Bay.
The NFL, they have it down to a science.
Packers president Mark Murphy says the stage is nearly set.
They've done a great job. It's unbelievable. The roof is up on the stage already.
The draft just 2 weeks away, then before you know it, the regular season. And Murphy tells Wisconsin's Morning News he expects league owners to ban that tush push.
I think there is a good chance.
And he also believes an 18-game regular season is in the near future.
The quality of the preseason has always been a concern, and I think it's getting worse and worse.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
It is allergy season, and trying to figure out if your congestion is a cold or allergies can be very difficult. Chief Health Policy Advisor from Milwaukee County, Dr. Ben Weston, tells WTMJ.
A few of the hints, unlike colds, seasonal allergies usually last longer. It's not just going to be a few days or a week. And allergy symptoms like sneezing, itching, stuffy nose, they're usually present without the other stuff that comes with infection. Body aches, sore throat, sometimes a fever that can go along with it. So these are some of the ways to differentiate.
Symptoms like a runny nose and congestion often overlap in both conditions.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Just one more win. That's all the Bucks need to secure the number 5 position in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They have 2 chances to do it, both against the Detroit Pistons in regular season play. Tonight it's in Detroit. Tip-off is at 6 o'clock. And the Brewers stay out west to start a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks in Arizona tonight. They're hoping for another winning series after finishing off the Rockies. Here tonight's game right here on WTMJ. Coverage starts at 8:05.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:36.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Collette Vacations is helping me take listeners on an incredible trip early December. Let me get you some information on this trip. It's called America's Music Cities for the holidays. I'm excited. It's New Orleans, Memphis, and Nashville. It's all those cities in dazzling lights, seasonal decor. It's time at Graceland. I've never been there. It's time at the Opryland Resort. And guess what in New Orleans? It's the soulful vibe. It's the French Quarter, all decked out for the holidays. We'll make chocolate, take a horse-drawn carriage ride. I love this. It's America's Music Cities, and the trip's filling up. Let me send you information. I'll get you pricing. There's pictures. There's all the details. Send me an email. I get you the info. John@WTMJ.com. Write me at John@WTMJ.com. Let me send you the information. Top-tier hotels, almost all the meals. We take care of all the details. Space is limited. It's America's Music Cities in early December. I'd love for you to be with us. John@WTMJ.com. A magical holiday dinner. It's a lot of great stuff. John, John, @WTMJ.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky is with us. Hello, Niz.
Yo, what's going on, guys? How's your Friday going?
Day today. It was sunny. It was comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, amazing what sunshine and 50 degrees feels like after a couple stinkers, right?
Yeah, you're right about that. 2 months from now, we'll be saying, oh, my gosh, 50 is so cold.
Let's go inside. Oh,
yeah,
man.
It was pretty good today, though. What's the average high this time of year?
Average high is like 54, 55
Perfect.
for today. I have to double check. So we're still a little bit behind. I mean, when you look at it that way.
But it's
I have it right here.
frosty tonight, right?
Yeah, a little chilly tonight. So we're on the 11th, 53. So I was 1 degree shy on my guesstimating. 53 is the average high for today. But Julia's right. Gets down to around 35 in the city. I bet you we get some freezing numbers outside of the city. So if you did some early planting or anything of that nature, which it's way too early in my book. But
yes.
If you did, you're going to want to cover things up or bring them in. For tonight.
The ground's still like a little frozen where I am. Man, if you're digging down trying to plant stuff, that's not an easy task.
I did some bulbs like a week or two ago. Like that's the one thing. Like if you do like winter bulb type things. And yeah, you're right. I mean, I got a really big clay base too by me, and it was I needed a jackhammer, I think, to get through it. But things are starting to thaw out, and that trend will continue. Water temperature is like 40 degrees. They got the buoy back in off the shore, so there's going to be a lot of cooler near the lakes to come, too, even on some of these nicer days.
Hey, so Saturday is going to be really nice. You'll give us the details in a couple of minutes, but it's also the full moon for the month. April's full moon. It's a pink full moon. What does that mean?
Pink moon, I think it probably just corresponds to like spring and like flowers
like
and stuff.
Easter.
That would be like an Easter type theme to it. I'd have to look. I didn't even look and see what the alternate. I like the alternate names. Sometimes,
It's going to be a
with
micro moon. Is it going to be cloudy tomorrow? Let's see. No, I don't.
Tomorrow's skies will be sunny for most of the day, but tomorrow night we start to cloud up again. I think there's going to be more clouds on Sunday.
We'll be able to see it.
Is it micromoon because it looks like it's further away from us? Does it look smaller?
Yeah, because it looks smaller than the super moon. I mean, do we have any regular moons anymore? Right?
No
you
kidding.
gotta have something.
Yeah. It says it's smaller and dimmer.
Yeah. All right. Alternate names here. The alternate names for April moon. You got the egg moon.
I like that.
Which
Susan
of course,
will love that. Susan Kim loves to hear about these moons.
The budding moon. New shoots moon. Whatever that is.
Oh, because like the tulips and daffodils coming out.
Yep, that's true. Seed moon, growing moon, awakening moon.
Who names this?
This is a lot of names.
Well, a lot of it. Okay, so most of the ones that we use are Native American names. But then in other parts of the world, like Europe, they have like the Celts make their moons names and like other stuff. So
okay,
yeah.
What does the Old Farmer's Almanac call it? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
The moon doesn't come up for 4 days.
That's right. A bold prediction from the Almanac. The moon will not rise at all in April. We will have no moons.
Yeah. What a pile of junk.
Yeah, exactly. Get that crap out of here. Yeah, you're right. All right, so what are we looking at? It's going to be a pretty good weekend, it sounds like, Niz.
Yeah, the weekend looks great. A good weekend to get outside, do some yard work, maybe play some golf. Obviously, the Masters is going on. That's where I'm going to be glued to. Kids' soccer games this weekend should all be good. Milwaukee Marathon is tomorrow. We're going with a high of 57 tomorrow in Milwaukee before it gets cooler lakeside. And then inland makes it up to like 62, mostly sunny. Sunday, partly cloudy, far from a washout, but there could be some stray showers, especially north of Milwaukee. A few of those showers could make it as far south as Milwaukee by late afternoon and evening. High of 62 for everybody on Sunday. Monday, partly cloudy, slight chance of showers and windy, 60. And then Tuesday, partly cloudy and breezy and a high of 52. So not making that huge leap, but definitely a forecast that looks a lot more like spring, guys.
Hey, did you see the leaders board at the Masters? Rory made a move today. He struggled yesterday.
Huge.
He's now 2 off the pace, shot 6 under today. Bryson DeChambeau, the big hitter, he had a good day today. He's also 1 shot off the lead. It's going to be fun this weekend.
Which one's the one that we just saw putt and do a bad putt?
That was the young kid from Australia. Lee is his name. He's like the young prodigy.
Yes.
But he's had a rough day today.
The leaderboard is loaded. I mean, there's there's at least a dozen guys within 4 shots going into the weekend. A lot of big names. You're right. McIlroy had an incredible day because I don't know if you watched yesterday. He was having a good day too, and then he had 2 double bogeys where he sent one into the water on a chip.
Yes.
So he rebounded really nicely today. Got to go for the American though. Let's go with the big boy, Bryson DeChambeau, currently in second.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
Scotty Scheffler is only a few strokes back too, so he's going to be in it.
It's shaping up to be, some of these where you get excited about the Masters and then like the field up top looks kind of, not that great. Or there's
Nobody
like huge gaps between. Yeah. You got the names are there and the scores are all there. It's looking good.
How did I forget this? One of your family members, right, John, is going to be in the marathon tomorrow?
Yeah, my nephew. And it's going to be good weather, it sounds like, Niz, what you just told us.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Perfect. I mean, I think near perfect for a lot of runners.
I think so, too.
Like 50s.
That's going to be
in the
great.
morning it's going to be a little cooler, but they would take 40s over, 80 degrees any day.
You got that right. All right, Niz, have a good weekend glued to that big TV you got.
You got it. I'll wheel it outside tomorrow with the sunshine.
That's a good idea. All right, talk to you on Monday,
right.
pal.
See you guys. Yep, have a good weekend.
It is 5:43 at WTMJ. Controversy surrounding the age of smoking in Wisconsin. The ability to sell cigarettes. How old do you have to be? That's up next.
Are you okay?
He's in love.
With
Milo.
Who's Milo?
He's talking about the Milo bedroom at Penny Mustard.
You're in love with a bedroom set.
What's not to love? Milo certainly is a handsome bedroom.
Rugged and stylish.
Old school and contemporary. It was love at first sight.
Now I'm in love with Milo too.
Fall in love with the Milo bedroom, starting at $52.09 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Is that right, Brandon? Who am I supposed to talk about? Pella. Vita. All right, let's do that instead. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin are the best. Gina, you know I love you, girl. All right, Vita Hearing. I have my hearing aids in right now. Can you guys see these? You can hardly even see them, right? They're hard to see. It's because they're so small, and they've changed my life. They've made my hearing better at Vita. They really have. They have 2 locations in Mount Pleasant and Waterford. Jeff and Cynthia and their teams are absolutely incredible. They're kind and they're gentle. I was nervous. Nobody wants to admit that they don't hear as well as they used to, but I went in, and they're very kind. They're very easygoing. They came up with solutions for me, and I hear better, and that's made our life better. I know it's made Michelle's life better. Check them out today, VitaHearingCare.com. That's VITA hearingcare.com. It's Vita and Pella.
If a man calls another man crazy, it's a compliment. This is my buddy Joey's crazy. Joey's like, you're just being nice.
Jim Gaffigan, everything is wonderful.
Because if my wife was standing here and I was like, this is my wife, she's crazy, I'd be dead. And all of you would applaud. You'd be like, well, that was a teachable moment.
Jim Gaffigan, 6 shows at the Riverside Theater. Only tickets for this Sunday, April 13th. Tickets on sale now at patstheatergroup.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at ACCUNET.com.
Hey everybody, Debbie Loziga here for Kohler Services, and I'm so excited. The countdown has begun. I've chosen Kohler Services to transform my old bathtub into a beautiful new Luxstone shower this month in a couple of weeks. Kohler Services makes it super easy. They came out to my home, they took measurements, they answered all my millions of questions that I had, and I was able to feel the crushed stone Luxstone material that they're going to make the walls out of. They designed my custom shower right in front of me. I cannot wait for the installation. You can request your free quote for a custom Kohler Luxstone shower as well by visiting KohlerServicesWI.com. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get out and enjoy your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited puts cool stuff in your yard. Patios, decks, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, screen rooms, even in-ground pools. You dream it, we design it together, then Outdoor Living Unlimited installs it for you. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Hair Construction.
If your home has a septic or mound system, you're invited. Join Hair Construction for a free seminar on keeping it working right. Visit HerrCorp.com for details.
Let's get ready to safe with our Debbie Loziga. Hey, Deb, how are the roads right now?
Hey, they're doing a little bit better depending on where you are. Right now, we do have a crash, though, on the ramp from 4394 northbound to 94 westbound in the Marquette. It's off on the right shoulder, but just keep your eyes peeled for that because it's kind of a tight squeeze. On northbound 43, we do still have some delays right around the North Avenue curve up towards Keith. Southbound on 41, right about at Capitol Drive, broken down vehicle off on the right shoulder. Still have delays from Silver Spring down past that point anyway. Delays on eastbound 94, basically through the Barker Road area to Brookfield Road, then from the zoo all the way to about 35th Street. And on the bypass, we've got delays from Beloit Road down on southbound all the way around the Hale interchange to about Forest Home. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
All right, so the federal age for selling cigarettes to minors is 21. You have to be 21. Guess what? In Wisconsin, we've left the age at 18, even though the federal law says you can't do it unless the kid is 21 or older. In Wisconsin, we have not gotten around to changing that and protecting our children. Peter Bergalis is a guy who's the alderman in Milwaukee, and he wants to make that change, but he's running into lots of obstacles. I had the chance to talk to the alderman earlier. All right, so let's talk through this. I want to start with the age of consent for people to buy tobacco in the city of Milwaukee. It's been 18. You wanted to bring that up to 21, which would match federal standards, and you were told that you couldn't do that today. Can you explain why? What's going on here?
Well, federal law is 21, and that is the law. You have to be 21 to use tobacco in the city of Milwaukee, in the state of Wisconsin, and across the country. But in Milwaukee, our ordinance still says 18, which means that a city of Milwaukee police officer can't write a citation to a gas station clerk that sells cigarettes to someone who's 19 years old. So we were trying to correct that today. Unfortunately, the city attorney's office informed us that correcting our ordinance from 18 to 21 would not be legal or enforceable because it still conflicts with state law. State law is still 18 on the books.
This is amazing, Peter. So the federal law is 21, but because the state law still says 18, individual cities, villages like Milwaukee cannot raise it to 21 because it conflicts with the state law, which conflicts with the federal law. Am I explaining that the right way?
I was just as confused as you were, but even though state law is flawed and not correct, Milwaukee still has to comply with it and still has to conform to it.
Wow. So I like your thought. You are trying to protect those young people in our society who are 18, 19, 20 years old from being able to buy tobacco. And because we don't have our act together in Madison and we don't match the federal standard, you are unable to do that. That's right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I was much younger than 18 when I smoked my first cigarette, but I quit smoking December 24th, 2019. And I fully recognize the harm and damage that smoking at a young age can do to someone's health.
How frustrated are you that in Madison they have refused to pass this measure which would match what they're supposed to do because it's the federal standard?
It's not even that they've refused to pass it. It's that the Assembly has passed it twice in a row in recent years, but the Senate has even refused to take a vote. And we know that it would be a bipartisan effort to pass this and adopt it and make it the law for the state of Wisconsin. But unfortunately, leadership in the state Senate has not even brought it to a vote.
Peter, why do you believe that they won't do in the state Senate what they've done in the Assembly and what you're trying to do in the city of Milwaukee?
That's a question you'd have to ask leadership in the state Senate. Generally, there's a sort of an unwritten rule where they won't bring anything to a vote unless they know that all Republicans in the Senate will be in agreement and pass something unanimously. So I suspect that there may be some outliers that would disagree with the age restriction statewide, but I'm very confident that a majority of senators in Madison would support it.
This really is mind-boggling to me because the feds have said this is the law of the land, and now you have cities, including Milwaukee, with your leadership, wanting to mirror that and protect our kids. And in Madison, in the Senate, they just refuse to even take this up. Do you have any confidence or any hope or any optimism that that might change in the Senate?
I have every hope and expectation that those elected to serve and protect the health and welfare of the people in our state will do just that. But from my perspective as an alder in the city of Milwaukee, I can only do what's legal and enforceable here in the city. So although we can't change the age of tobacco in city ordinance at this time, we did separate our legislation, and we're moving forward with restricting the age of consent to use hookah and hookah products in the city of Milwaukee. Other municipalities have done that in the state of Wisconsin. It's a very narrow, we'll call it a loophole in state law that regulates only tobacco products. And because hookah is not tobacco, cities can regulate it. So we've gotten a green light from a previous city attorney to do this. The current city attorney's office is going to re-review it prior to council day on April 22nd. But for now, the committee has recommended adoption or recommended passage of this ordinance change to restrict the age of hookah in the city of Milwaukee.
So this ordinance would mean that you have to be 21 to use hookah or buy hookah paraphernalia, is that right?
Correct.
Where does vaping fall into this?
According to state law, it depends if there's tobacco or not in that. So vaping was only recently introduced into state law, so that would still mirror state restrictions on tobacco use.
And then if it doesn't have tobacco, it would be like hookah or other things where cities, because of that loophole, could take up regulation if they wanted to. Is that right?
Exactly. So if the reluctance of legislators in Madison to act on this for tobacco restricts our ability to protect the health and welfare of our young people for tobacco use, we can at least get hookah passed right now. Former state representative, now alderperson Jokesa Zamaripa has been working on this for a while. We'll be able to get this across the finish line for now.
So Alderman, you had wanted also to increase the penalties for people that sell tobacco, vaping, or hookah products to people under the age of 21. Where does that part of all this stand?
Hookah will have the same age as what we had in the ordinance before, so that'd be up to $1,000 for selling. And then also there's a $25 penalty previously if you didn't have a sign that said that you have to sell or you have to be of age to purchase tobacco or hookah products. We'll change that from $25 to $250.
All right. That's our guy. That is Peter Bergalis. Okay, so here's the deal. You heard us talk about the Senate has not even taken up this measure. They refused to take it up. I reached out to Devin LeMahieu. He is the Senate Majority Leader. Guess what? I gave him yesterday and all day today, and he didn't get back to me. He can't bother to call me back, can't bother to pick up the phone, can't bother to protect our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't enforce the law, which says that, federally, you have to be 21 to buy cigarettes. So if you are 18, 19, or 20, and a store sells cigarettes to you, the store cannot be held accountable because we do not have the right laws in place here in the state of Wisconsin.
And the bill has been brought to the Senate how many times, John, and it hasn't been brought up?
Well, it's passed in the Assembly, Julia, twice, and the Senate refuses to bring it up. He refuses to let his members vote on it.
And that's the question we want answered from Senator LeMahieu.
Call us, text me, email me. I gave you and your office all my information. Why will you not allow this to come forward for a vote? I talked to an aide to a different senator yesterday who said if LeMahieu allowed this to come to a vote, of course it would pass the Senate in a bipartisan fashion, and the age in Wisconsin would go to 21 instead of 18. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
John at WTMJ.com. That's my email, Senator. You know you have it. I almost gave out my cell phone right now on the air. You have my cell phone. Can we discuss this? Protect our children. Do the right thing. At least let us know. Man up and tell us why you won't do it if you're not going to do it.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business